Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back. New season is here. Preseason. The Euros are done. The Copa America is done. And I'm back. TJ won't be here this week. He'll be back next week. We got Stefan, who is going to be here maybe roughly 20, 25 minutes. Connor should be here in a couple of minutes. Yeah. Connor should be here in a couple minutes. Stefan is running late, but he should be here. Arsenal is already bottled it again. You know, the season hasn't started, and they're already bottled it. But it gives us time to, I guess, talk Tottenham. There's a lot of things we could say about Tottenham right now. Our second preseason game, because we had one over the weekend against, was it Colchester that we played, or Cambridge, something like that. But have a lot of opinion. Is the fan base going crazy? But yeah, it's good to be back. Stel, welcome. We did a show last night, but there's still so much to talk about today. I also want to talk about another cut deal that we're trying to get. I can never say this guy's name right. Victor, is it Gorkis or Gaikis? How do you say his name?
I think Yorkis. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Another cut deal. And so we will talk about that. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm right. Just beginning again. The usual idiots that pop up that just like to shit on any fan who's got an opinion that they don't like. You know, the usual. It's we haven't even started the season, but already, they're warming themselves up for the usual disastrous predictions that they do, Mari. They predict success and they always end up with egg on their faces because they don't know what they're talking about. I'll be right. At the end of this season, if we don't sign 2 or 3, I'm going to say 3 proven quality players, we're not winning anything this season. Unless we get really lucky in the Carabao Cup, we get like an easy draw, and then we get to a final and we have another Jonathan Woodgate deflected header, rebound, winning goal like we did against Chelsea. Unless we get lucky, we're not winning anything until we sign proven players. And all the usual Spurs fans that don't know what they're talking about will end up looking stupid as always. And I'm going to say it, man. I think we've got a really stupid fan base, like proper stupid. It's one thing being loyal and supporting your club. It's another thing being just completely deluded and just telling yourself lies about what's going on at this club, And it started again. Here we go again. It's another season where we'll hit a purple patch, we'll do well, everyone will get excited, all hyped up, and then the wheels will come flying off, and then there'll be excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. You heard it all last year. Yeah. FFP, PSR, that. All the financial experts, all the gurus, the investment bankers. Now they're saying, we've got stadium debt. What do you expect us to do?
I saw that.
Just the levels of bullshit and gossip going around the Spurs channels, podcast community, comment section. Honestly, man, we are a very low grade fan base right now online. We're not the only fan base. Other fans are like, they do it as well, but we're special. We're a very, very special group of fans. I'm blown away at how special we are.
Yeah, before I guess I'll go on my rant because it's kind of related to what you posted. I just want to give a big up to Big Tone. Always a big up for Tone. Big supporter of the channel. Always bringing it real. Big up, Tony. Big up to William Leone. Always a big supporter. Big up to you. New season. It's good to see the usual faces. Miss Miss Hotspur, TC Hotspur. Welcome. This is the first time seeing you. Welcome, welcome. Big fan of the show, Frankfurt Gunner. Oh man, yeah, we're gonna talk about the Kyle Forey deal. I'm waiting for your boys. Waiting for your boys. You know what's? Are you guys gonna sign them? I mean, will the deal get done? Big up, Frankfurt. Big up, Anthony. Big up, brother. Um, Supported the show last year. Big up, Scott. I like that. Big up, guys. The panel looks perfect right now. Yes. Yes, Scott, man, always tell it like it is, the truth about it. I think Scott might be more positive than me. The rant I'm about to go into, man, yeah, but big up Scott, man. Man, if we end up having 3 Arsenal people on the show, maybe I'll send you the link and you'll join. It'll be 3 against 3. Big up Scott. 3SS Sports Picks, also a big supporter of the show. Big up. Love having your support. Big fan of the show. Mark Cousins, of course, big support of the show. Big up. Big Tone once again. Yeah, it looks like it for a cut deal. Big up to Stixie, another supporter of the show. Big up to JJ. Oi, oi, Mari Estelle. Big up, big up. Just had a knee operation a few weeks ago. Wow. We'll have to confirm that. Maybe that's the reason why they're asking for a cut deal. Oh, man. This is, yeah. Philly is in the house. Big up to Philly. Already know the excuses for next season. The players are young. Yep. To Ding. Any thoughts on the news of football governance bill? Okay. I may have to ask you about that because, like I said, I just came back from Peru and Costa Rica. And so, yeah, so there's a couple of things I might have missed out. Big up the Pipes. Big up. Another support of the show. 71. Safer is back. Big up. We're waiting for your boys. We are waiting for your boys. You know, ready to hear Saliba slander. Oh man, you know what? He started. He had a good Euros. Well, I will talk about Romero and Saliba. He had a good. I mean, not an end result for France, but he had a good Euros. Big up to Kenny, Bayern Munich fan. Morning. Big up, and big up to Mohammed. Hassan, he's up in the house. Okay, evening, everyone. Big up. So we got a good chat. We got good people in the chat. We got a good panel, half of the panel, while we wait for the other bottlers. So I'm gonna say this. I said this on Monday. I try to be balanced, right? In the sense of my opinion, people could take it as negativity or they could take it as positivity. This is the first season, I'm being really honest, the first season since really 07, 08, the first season where I'm really going in with absolutely zero expectations. Because last year I said I had no expectations, but there was some hope because new manager, let's see how the team goes. Stel, I concur with you from the video that you posted. This season, I'm going in with absolutely zero expectations. I'm waiting for kickoff of the Leicester game in the sense of to kind of pump myself up to be excited. But like I said Monday, I am bored. I'm really bored with this team and what we are doing. We haven't made one quality get in the starting 11 signing yet. I've heard the excuses. Well, Copa America's going on and Euros. Okay, granted. But at least United is showing, hey, talk to these players during this time. And look at that. They've signed Euro and they've signed Zerke, right? That's what a responsible club does, right? During the Euros, like they could talk, negotiate, and then sign because you want to get these players in for the preseason. But man, like it's we saw Gray yesterday. You know, he was one of our signings. The other signing, if you count it, is Timo Werner. I just, for me, I'm not excited, and I hate the fact that people are gonna say, well, you're not a true Spurs fan. No, I am a true Spurs fan. I'm being real. Like this team takes me through the emotions, the highs of the highs. You just say, coming back against Ajax, going to the Champions League final, to the lowest of the lows, being humiliated at Newcastle. This team takes me to the highs and lows. And as a real fan, as a real human being, you go through emotions. And right now, I'm going through the emotions where I'm not excited about the season. And I can speak of what I see today, as of now, after seeing Basuma's performance yesterday. Timo Werner was horrible. Kulu, I'm not impressed. So I'm going into next season like, if this is going to be consistent starting 11, right, and we're not going to get CDM or 6-4 to protect Romero and Ben to Ben, and then I see United improving. Chelsea is a question mark because now they got team turmoil with the Enzo Fernandez situation. Newcastle is not playing Europe anymore. We'll see what they do. Villa got stronger, So I'm looking at another. We may do worse than this past season. I mean, we did worse when we improved, went to 5th, but we may finish 6th or 7th. So there's nothing really for me right now to be excited about this upcoming season. And there's a possibility if it's a rough season, because I don't really rate our team. Our team is not that good, in my opinion. We could finish 8th or 9th. I don't know if that's good enough to leave me in the board, but I mean, that's how I'm seeing it. And people may say, well, Mari, why the doom and gloom? This is what I see. This is what I see. Now, if you told me, because in life you have a philosophy, right? I work for a school district. We have a philosophy in regards to education. In other sports, right, you have teams that has a philosophy of how they're going to do things, right? You look at like a Borussia Dortmund, right? It's youth, young, pressing, high octane football. Right now, I'm confused. Are we going to be a youth team, or we're going to be a team that is, quote unquote, from Ange, challenge for the league, top 4?
Neither.
Well, it's neither. Thank you. The starting 11, I said last night's show, Project Youth, Project 11. This 11 is as a team, the 11 is not that good. So we have a problem both, and we all know. I agree 100% with Sava. I agree 100% with you. The youth is not going to play. Maybe Bergvall might get some minutes. The youth is not going to play. I mean, if you told me we're going to play nothing but kids and babies and stuff, you got to be quick, I'll take it. But the thing is, this club is so confused about their philosophy, about their ethos, about their DNA. It's frustrating. And so that's why, for me, I struggle to find hope and stuff like that. And that's why I even joked around with Scott. Scott may be more hopeful than me, and than me coming into the season, because right now I'm struggling. I'm bored, and I'm not. I don't know. Maybe when kickoff comes against Leicester City, I'm excited whatsoever. But I kind of know how the script is going to end. I kind of know how the movie's going to end. I mean, am I wrong? That was my rant.
No, you're not wrong, Murray. See, I don't think we'll finish 9th. I think we'll finish top 6. But I think that's it. I don't think we'll be worse than last season, but I don't think we'll be better. I think it'll be the same. We won't win any trophies unless we get really super lucky with the draw. We played Championship and Division 1 teams and stuff. But yeah, we're not going to challenge for a league title. Not unless there's some major transfer business done. If we make some major transfer signings, then things could change. We'll challenge for maybe we're a bit more serious about the Carabao Cup. But the problem is you've got a team where the squad depth is still not good enough. We don't have cover for left and right back. Not decent cover. We don't have cover for the goalkeeper that's decent. We don't have cover in midfield. We don't have cover across the front three. You know,
yes.
Dragusin's cover for centre back. He is. You could say that, if we start with Timo and Brennan, then Kulusevski, he's cover, but he's no different to what we've got.
Yes,
striker, we still ain't got a striker, Mari. We don't have a number 9. We don't have a backup number 10, creative mid. We don't have an out-and-out wide player that's highly skilled, highly talented. Maybe Bergvall, actually. Maybe Bergvall could grow into that role. I think that's a possibility. We don't have a proper number 6 at the club that can play this system. So there's 3 positions that massively confirm what you're talking about. Nothing to get excited about. We have planning permission for it. Yeah, no, absolutely. We are buzzing. We are buzzing for the Marriott, the JW Marriott.
Big up, Joe. That's the post of the day.
There's key positions we haven't filled, Murray. And that means that we haven't improved. Now, if we go and sign those players, it all changes for me. I think we will challenge for top 4. And I think we could give the Carabao Cup a realistic go. I do. But if we don't, boy, with Europe, you know.
So still, I asked you this question because Rich put it up there. And big up Rich, because I agree with him. Is finishing 8th far-fetched? Because I was asked the question on last night's show. I saw it, but I couldn't answer it because we had a lot of people on the panel. And someone asked me, name me 7 teams better than Spurs. So I can only go by today. And I'm including who Villa just signed. Villa signed, was it Fofana? Or they signed someone.
Yeah, look, Mari, the teams that finished top 4, they're better than us.
They're better than us.
Okay. But then
Villa.
The only team I think below us that catches us is Man United.
United.
That's it. I don't think Chelsea are a mess, man. They're a real mess of a club.
They're a mess right now.
I think they're going to regret sacking Pochettino.
All right, what about Newcastle? They don't have Europe, right? No, they don't have Europe.
Okay, then Newcastle is another one, maybe. Okay, so Newcastle. So that's what does that mean? 7th. Okay, 7th is possible. Yeah.
As of today, right? As of today, not too many more times.
7th is possible.
Newcastle might be better than us.
But Aston Villa are losing some good players as well, like Douglas Luiz, and they're losing 2 really good players as well. So I think Spurs
lost.
Murray, I'm going to say 6th, right? I'm going to say 6th as it stands. I think 6th as it stands is realistic for Spurs next season. Anything above that is a bonus. Trophies, we get it. It's delusional. The fan base hasn't got a clue what it's talking about. I'm sick to death of hearing trophies are coming. We're going to win the league. Angie's cooking. Absolute bullshit. It's the biggest con that is spreading like wildfire across our fan base. It's bonkers. It's one thing being positive, but they're wrong every year. Like every year, you people are wrong. Where's that positive bollocks got you? You're not realistic. You're not true to what you see. It's just, I hope I'm right once in my life. Yay. You know? I'm sorry. I don't buy it.
Thank you, Zafer. Onana. Isan Onana.
Mari, one second. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay. No, it's just, I put the question stirring preseason state of the clubs, and we'll talk, about Arsenal when Stefan and Connor jump on. No, that's how I view it. I've seen the other channels, and I get it, right? You want to have hope, and for me, even the profession that I work in, you want to find some hope. And for me, like yesterday, I said, hey, might be more, he's not in your mouth, but hey, if he gets the minutes, he maybe there's something there. Bergvall, okay, we can see something.
Ari, these kids beat Hearts, okay? 5 days ago, Hearts played Leighton Orient in a friendly. Leighton Orient are in League One, not even Championship, right? Leighton Orient beat Hearts 2-1. Leighton Orient beat Hearts in a friendly. And we're saying that Donnelly reminds me of Gary Mabbott, Lankshire's the Harry Kane replacement, Mikey Moore's Gascoigne, Bergvall's the new Foden. It's fucking ridiculous. It's insane. You've got that guy on Twitter, inverted winger, apparently a coach, saying on Championship Manager on the PlayStation, look at his stats. What planet are we on? Well, listen, I think Mikey Moore in 2-3 years' time could be a really, really magical player. I think Bergvall, with a couple of seasons under his belt in the Premier League, could really be something. Okay, the rest, it's all if buts and maybes. Where's the game time? Like I've been coaching for 12 years. I tell everyone now, the best development of a player is game time. The game, nothing beats it. It's the ultimate development. Is to play real life football when you've got 62,000 people shouting death to your mother, death to your father, cussing you, giving you all sorts of abuse. Can you play in that environment? Because that's not what it's like at Hotspur Way. That's not what it's like when you play under 21s football and 100 people are there watching. Can you play in a game, a North London derby, where it's fiery, it's toxic, it's
intimidating?
Can you turn up in that moment? Can you calmly beat a man? Hit the ball across the goalkeeper and put it in the bottom corner. Can you do those things? Can you not be irrational and give away a penalty? We don't know. We just don't know with these kids. We have no idea. But because we beat Hearts, they're all Ballon d'Ors. They're all going to be Ballon d'Ors, this lot. Yay! Calm. Enjoy the game. Be excited of what might happen one day, maybe. But calm, man. Calm. We don't know. We don't know. We do it all the time. Dane Scarlett, generational talent. Alfie Devine, generational talent. Jack Clark, the best thing to come out of Leeds. Come on, man. Let's see. I think a couple of these kids, Mari, we could see in the first team over the next 2-3 years. I can see it happening. But if we think Tyrese Hall, Lancashire, Donnelly, Bergvall, Phillips, Mikey Moore, Santiago, all these players, Austin in goal, all these players are going to suddenly come in and replace this team. Everyone's out there fucking mind.
It's not happening. If he was to keep his job, if Ange wants to keep his job, big up to Ronnie. Ronnie was the one who asked me the question. So a big up, Ronnie. It was a packed show. He asked me to name 6 or 7 teams. I still say Villa's better than us. Newcastle, Chelsea right now. You know what? If they had Poch, I would say maybe. They beat us twice last season, but Chelsea, I'll definitely say no. So I would say 6. Newcastle being that one, but big up to Ronnie. Going back to yesterday's game. There are those who said, well, Mari, it's preseason. Why are you panicking? Okay. I expect, right? This is preseason, right? Hearts, like, I'm not going to diss them. They're not a public team, but Hearts should have been up in that game. Should have been up. And then you have Emerson, who was supposed to go to AC Milan. We refused to sell him for even 15 mil. Does a horrible turnover, right? Because of that wonderful Hearts press. Horrible turnover for a goal. Horrible pass, right? You got Basuma, who was terrible yesterday. And you're playing Hearts. That's not a good sign. Well, Mari's the preseason. Hearts? Am I being unreasonable? It's Hearts. You should be kicking their ass. You should be balling. It is preseason. You're not playing Southampton. Newly promoted Southampton. You're playing against Hearts. Am I being unreasonable?
Hearts are rubbish.
How's that struggling? Like Timo
they lost to Leighton Orient. They lost to Leighton Orient. I mean, listen, against QPR again. Okay, that'll be a little bit harder. This Asia tour. The only real game I'm looking at, thinking, let's see what happens, is Bayern Munich.
Let me ask you a question, and this is why I said we need to get someone to challenge Madison. I'm not going to go big up Mario Bari to the point where I'm saying he's overrated. I'm just saying, you remember when the first half he went down, when Madison went down? The first thing that came in my mind, if Madison gets hurt, who is creative enough to play in the midfield for us? No one.
Mikey Moore, the new Paul Gascoigne.
So if Madison go down, we're depending on Mikey Moore.
Listen, there isn't anyone. He'll probably try and play Bergvall or Cooley there. I'm guessing that's what he'll try and do. I mean, if Lo Celso's fit, I guess Lo Celso can play that role. I quite like Lo Celso, Mari, but he's always injured. So what's the point? If
his heart is in the club, because those question, Argentina Lo Celso, and I should know, as a supporter of Argentina football, Lo Celso for Argentina and Lo Celso for Spurs, it's a different story. It's like I said, there's some positives. Like I said, the youth got to play. We got to see the youth mostly against the Hearts B team. But I brought up yesterday the concern of the not Project Youth, but Project 11, the starting 11. Our starting 11 needs lots of help. It's not, for me, solidified. I will tell you the ones who are solidified for me. Up front, Sonny, but not as a striker. But, on the wing, Sonny. In the midfield, I'm not definite on anybody in the midfield. And I've said this towards the end of the season. I want to see improvements to the midfield. I want to see some acquisitions. And then in the back, Romero, Van de Ven, Udogie, and Porro. But I would love to see a DM, a CDM protect Van de Ven and Romero. I would love to see that. Other than that, everybody else position, I'm including Sar, I'm including Basuma, Madison, Kulu, Solomon, whoever, Charleston. Like, I'm not sold. I am not sold. And we haven't made not one signing, quality, ready-made player signing yet. What do you think about the starting 11?
That's exactly the same as last season. You're going to have Romero and Van de Ven getting torn a new one because there's no protection in front of them. You're going to have two wing backs that are going to be told to invert and not overlap, which doesn't suit them. But they're good players, and they're going to be told to do something that that they're better at doing something different. Dogi and Porro, you've got good goalkeeper, a bit suspect on set pieces, Vicario, and you've got a midfield. It could be anyone between Højbjerg, Skip, Pape Sarr, Basuma, Bentancur, Lo Celso, Madison. God knows who he's going to pick and play. I've got no idea. But what I do know is it lacks balance, and we don't have a proper six. We haven't had a proper six for ages. In fact, since Dembele and Wanyama left, we haven't had a proper six. Højbjerg was good under Mourinho because it suited that system. It worked. But this is completely different football. And then look at the front three. It's championship level. Timo Werner, Richarlison, and Brennan Johnson. It's absolute crap. And fans praise it. Oh, I'm so glad Brennan Johnson proved everyone wrong. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He doesn't turn up against 80% of the top 10 games. Home, away, cup, he goes missing. He goes absolutely missing. Guess what? If you get to cup final, you're not playing Nottingham Forest, you're not playing Burnley, you're not playing Sheffield United, you're playing Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, you're playing big teams, Newcastle, Villa maybe. He doesn't turn up. Same as Richarlison, same as Kulu, same as Werner. They don't turn up in those games. They all go missing. 80% of the time they go missing. So they're not good enough. That's what we've got next season. The only one that's good enough is Son, and he's not a striker. So it's look, Mari, there'll be games we enjoy. There'll be games that we think, yeah, that was great. There'll be games that we say that's crap. There'll be games where we say, yeah, told you so. We said it, we called it. It will be very similar to last season. That first half, watching us play, I wasn't impressed. I was not impressed that first half.
Same here.
Okay. That was without the kids. That's without the kids.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. That and Zafer put up, well, these games are for fitness. I get it, but really, Hearts giving us problems. Like,
these games aren't for fitness. These games are for many things. They're for fitness. They're for players to give themselves a chance to show the manager what they're about. It's for the manager to have a look at how the team's progressing. It's for tactics. It's for philosophy. It's for a number of reasons you have preseason games. It's not just fitness. If it was just for fitness, just go in the gym, go on the running machine.
Stefan will be here in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Big up Wayne Holland for the super sticker, brother.
That's what I was going to say.
Good to see you in the chat. The preseason games as well, for me, are meaningless, Mari, as well, because last season, preseason, we were like, oh, look at the football. Oh, my God, look at this 1-2 touch football. This is great. And then as soon as the season started, we looked good in patches. And then after 9-10 games, we were an absolute joke. And we finished the season appallingly. So preseason isn't an indicator of anything. I think the most important thing with preseason is you're looking for performances. And then whether or not you can carry that performance into the new season. I think that's the most important thing. But we yesterday, Wednesday's match was like all of last season. One half shit, one half a bit better.
Yeah.
One half not great, one half that was better. So it was more of the same. I think passing out from the back, we've still got problems. I'm still not confident that they've got it yet. But we changed a lot of players, You got Skip at centre back. Emerson comes on and does Emerson things. We tried 3 different goalkeepers, 2 different left backs. So it's very difficult, chop and change. There's no fluidity because of it.
Yeah.
I'm just a bit surprised Ange doesn't know what players he wants and what he wants to get rid of. Or if he does, why is Emerson Royale still at the club? Why is Ben Davies still at the club? Why is Højbjerg Skip? Why are they still at the club? Why is Richarlison still here? Why did we sign Timo Werner again? Like, these that make no sense.
Yeah, it's to the point we need to take our losses. But this team operates like a financial company where we are going to find a club that's going to pay. Because remember, Barcelona laughed at us for the price that we paid. And now we expect another club to pay that price. If I'm AC Milan, of course, AC Milan's like, hey, we're not going no higher than 15 mil. And now we're forced to keep Emerson Royale. Like, it's downright frustrating. Papa has a question for us. Why haven't anyone gone for Eze or Tony if they're that good, bag average, in my opinion? That's a good question. They're great on Spurs because, well, first of all, Eze and Tony upgrades out starting 11. Both of them. But I know everybody's been talking about Eze. I don't think we're going to get him. I honestly, I have to see the ink dry before we get him. And when it comes to Tony, I don't think we get him either because we've been linked to Gorky's for a cut price deal. Like we are not going to pay. Like we're not going to pay for the A-rated players. We're not going to pay also for the B-rated players. Our club is made for cut deals for players who or maybe C-rated or young, one for the future, right? Um, and players like Van de Ven, like really really good scouting, which was I give him credit, and he flourished. But don't lie to yourself. Van de Ven was not our number one target last summer. He was not our number one target, and he wasn't. How would I say? It wasn't like. How would I say this? It wasn't a pickup where it was just like everyone said, "Oh wow, they picked up Van de Ven. That is a great signing. He's going to be one of the top center backs right up the gates of the Premier League." It's we lucked into getting Van de Ven, and people may say it sounds harsh, but we lucked into because I remember, other than some happy clappers, everybody had questions because we wanted what's his name from the German league. Refresh my memory, and who also had a great year. The guy that we were seriously interested in before Van de Ven.
Oh, Tapsoba.
Yeah, Tapsoba.
Hmm.
And people said, see, we didn't pay for Tapsoba. Well, Tapsoba balled last year and won the Bundesliga. But
I don't. The thing is, a lot of clubs aren't doing business either. I mean, Arsenal haven't signed anyone. I thought Arsenal would be going in hot, like cooking, and they've done nothing so far. So, Man City haven't done anything, although they have got that. They've got Savio. Who they signed. He's fantastic. Savio is going to be dynamite. You won't see.
Elio West, they're cooking. If this is true, and Tony doesn't, we'll post a reliable source.
I don't know if all these players that Man United are signing are going to be good, but what I do know is, looking at Man United, I think they've now got a plan. They're
cooking. Ugarte,
they've got
Sorky, and the center back. What's his name?
Yeah, the French kid.
Yeah, Euro, and it's still in for Delit.
The thing is, Mari, they've also got a manager that's won in England, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. People can say what they want about Ten Hag. Say what you want about him, but he's outperformed. He's outperformed Arteta. He's outperformed any Spurs manager. He's outperformed Newcastle's managers, Villa's managers, Chelsea's managers. 2 seasons, 2 trophies. That's not a joke. We've got respect on. Look at this fraud. Good evening. We've got to put some respect on Ten Hag's name, man. How many times did we say, "Oh, even when our shit, they won trophies," right? Well, the same has to apply to Man United now. It has to. Can't just be just for Arsenal. We say it. We have to say it for Man U as well.
And
so I think United next season potentially could be back. Potentially. Yeah. But let's see, because I don't know if these players are going to just suddenly hit the ground running and whatnot.
And the good news for them, I know you're watching Euros. Kobe Mainu,
he's brilliant, Murray.
He's legit. He's legit. He is legit. He was England's best player other than Gahey, who we're going to talk about because Arsenal.
Murray, who's that other black guy they've got on the wing? The young kid they've got, another academy player.
Diallo, Amad Diallo.
Listen, that's another one. I'm telling you, he's legit as well.
Garnacho is still very talented. People undermine him. Great talent. Yeah, that's true. So they've got loads of good talent, man. That team.
And I seriously think United will have a better season than us as of today. As of today, because they have someone who could control the midfield, right? For me, I don't like our midfield. I know Connie just jumped in. Our first topic is the state of Spurs. And our
Sorry, Murray. Sorry, hold on. Frankfurt Goon, you cannot call Ten Hag a fraud when you refuse to call Arteta a fraud, who's won less than Ten Hag, having spent double the amount as Ten Hag and has had triple the amount of time. It is absolutely impossible for you to call Ten Hag a fraud unless you call Arteta a fraud as well. If you aren't prepared to call them both frauds, then I'm sorry, you are the fraud with this comment. You cannot do that. Anyone explain to me the logic in that? If you say Arteta's not a fraud, then you have to give credit to Ten Hag.
It's true.
That FA Cup win changed the game, man.
Bro, that FA Cup win is still fucking going on about today, man. That's all they ever talk about, the FA Cup win. That's all they ever talk about.
They're big silly.
I meant Ten Hag's FA Cup win. That changed
the game.
Oh,
yeah. I'll tell her anyway. My point still stands. We'll also fans ever talk about the FA Cup.
Because that not only is that another trophy for Man United and Ten Hag, not only did they do it against their arch rivals Man City, but that got Man United back into Europe when they had no chance of Europe from where they were in the league. They're back in the Europa Cup. So he's got them Europe again, and he's got them a trophy.
And they're cooking. They're signing players. They're signing Ugarte. I rate. Zerkey, we're going to see how, he does in the Premier League. Euro, who Real Madrid won. He turned down Real Madrid. And then everybody believe whoever Real Madrid signed, they become stars, right? And then they still are in the mix for Delit. And I'm like, United is cooking. These guys are.
Like with Xabi Simons as well. I'm
like this on Zerkey. I'm like that.
Can I be so honest and real? If Euro wasn't linked with Madrid, I wouldn't have understood the hype. Because I'm going to keep it so honest and real, yeah? No one heard of this guy 2 months ago. Let's be real now.
Who's
no one heard of this guy. No, Euro.
I've never heard of the guy.
I
only respected it because Real Madrid. If Real Madrid are in for you, you've got to be some sort of serious player. That's what I'm about to say.
And it's coming from Lille, which usually defensive players come in. Like, if you buy a defender from the French league, they're usually good. I mean, you guys got Saliba, French, from the French league. Usually that's a defensive league,
Yeah, I agree.
Usually pan out to be good. And so if you, like I say, if Real Madrid is saying, this guy's the truth, and he turned them down for United, I'm thinking.
I think that's crazy, You got to respect that, actually. The fact that United were able to pull off a deal over Madrid, I find very interesting, especially with a manager like Ten Hag, who obviously now kept his job. A lot of people don't really rate him. The fact that he had the pull to go ahead and get Euro from Madrid, I've got to respect that. I do have to respect that.
Dragusin turned down Bayern Munich to come Spurs, so I'm not surprised.
Can we appreciate, actually, your new away kit looks like the Argentinian kit. Like, Romero feel right at home. It literally looks like the Argentinian kit.
Your new kit is disgusting.
What's wrong with the new away kit? The new away kit's cold. It's good kit.
Black, red, green. It looks like something getting.
It's representing Africa. It's representing.
I'm not going to.
It's representing Ian Wright and Rocky Roadcastle.
I don't care. It's horrible. I don't care.
It's nice. It's better than the shite you've got this a fucking second.
Well,
I admit our kids are shit. I admit our kids are shit. I'm not
going to be biased. I'm not going to be biased. I will say this: it's not the best. It's not the worst. But for African, it's supposed to have an African theme. I think they did kind of okay with that jersey. I think they kind of did okay.
The third kit is awful. Have you seen the third kit? It's
no, I haven't seen the third kit.
It's awful. It's like this.
They can have an African theme, an Indian theme, an Asian theme, a Latin American. I don't care. It looks horrible. The only kind of
don't be like Enzo. Don't be like Enzo. Be careful.
Nigeria kit. 2 World Cups ago, I think the Nigeria kit. Now that was about the African theme. That had the vibes.
Oh, the Ajax Bob Marley kit, which I've worn in Costa Rica. That is nice. That kid is nice. I don't know if you guys ever seen that Ajax Bob Marley, the Bob Marley kid.
It's a nice kid.
Yeah, it's a nice kid. It's one of the best kids I've seen, other than Vienza. Vienza comes out with some of the nicest kids.
Anyway, do you know what? I don't give it. I actually don't care about the kits because you know what? It doesn't matter what you wear, you lose. You don't win nothing. So
true. But yeah, it makes me laugh how we've gone ahead and stalled Calafiori. Takes us fucking weeks to sign this player, man.
What's going on with Arsenal, man? I actually thought this summer Arsenal would go in like strong. And
no, Stel, no, you got it wrong. The window's changed, Stel. It's slower this season. It's slower. According to Mikel Arteta, the window's slower. The transfer window's different. Load of.
Hey, talk to us, Connor. Tell us, because I don't follow Arsenal. Like, what's going on? Bro, what's going on? Talk to us.
I want to try to see if I can find the tweet.
Tell us the state of Arsenal preseason right now.
Tell us, man. Tell us.
Well, it just makes me laugh, right? So the tweet came out today about Calafiori, how before the Euros or like during the Euros, he was worth 35 million. But now after the Euros, Bologna have now upped his value to about 45 to 50 million euros. And it makes me laugh how I've had excuses thrown to me that we can't buy players who are playing in the Euros, which is a load of bullshit. You can't, as long as you agree personal terms with the player, Bologna aren't playing in the Euros. You talk to the Bologna representatives as their own. They're not in the Euros. Calafiori already agreed personal terms before he even left the Euros to talk to Arsenal. You already agreed personal terms. We have been ballsing around trying to get the cheapest deal we can. And listen, I respect you trying to save a bit of money and trying to get the best deal possible. But I'm not fucking around here. We're Arsenal Football Club. We're not in no disrespect like a Luton Town or who are signing fucking tons of players, by the way. You know, we're not this shabby little shoddy team. We're Arsenal Football Club. Why are we being so shoddy with deals? We're trying to weave in Jakub Kivior, who doesn't want to go to Bologna. He wants to go to AC Milan in this Calafiori deal, which I don't have a problem with, but he doesn't want to leave to go to Bologna, which I can understand. I'd rather go to AC Milan if I was him, which is taking years and years of these deals. We've heard nothing about a striker, which is apparently what Mikel Arteta said they wanted to go in for in Edu. Nothing about a fucking striker. You know, all this hype about, we're going to sign all these Mikel Moreno as well, who's now been linked with Barcelona. Barcelona want to go in for him. Why are we taking so long on this one deal? And we can't even bother focusing on anything else. We can't even sell players. We've just rejected a £30 million bid for Emil Smith-Rowe to Fulham. Take the money and go. We always bang on about how we can't sell players. In no disrespect, I wouldn't even value Smith-Rowe any more than 20, 25 million. So why are we taking down 30 million? We're rejecting all these offers and people bang on about how we can't sell players. Like me, I say we can't sell players. But as soon as we get in a bid like 30 mil, we reject it. Why are we rejecting these bids for these players? It's an absolute joke. And I look at clubs like Man United, and I put a tweet out the other day, and it's now gone fucking mad on Twitter, saying that I'll take Ineos over Edu and Richard Garlick. I fucking would. They've just gone ahead and... Oh, here we go. I've lost the battle now. They're going ahead and signing Agate. 3 signings in 1 week.
And?
Look at us now. I like the setup, by the way, Stefan. You got the chair now, you got the screen. I'm liking it, man. Full setup, ready for the new season.
Thanks.
No, I'm pissed off, man, because I've seen the Calafiori stuff, and if that's gonna go through, then I can't be arsed, man.
It's gonna go through, man. It's the typical bullshit that there's some haggling on the negotiations. They leak the fact that other clubs might be interested. They always do this. It's typical. It's not a small transfer. And when you point out, because I listened to you in the last, like, Ugarte went to PSG, was a bench warmer. They paid big money for him, and now they're trying to sell him. Euro was, I mean, although the Man United fans are hyping this transfer up, which it is, he's a big talent, but they massively overpaid for a person that Real Madrid pay only 25 to 30 million. So this concept that they've gazumped Real Madrid is complete bullshit because of the fact that they just paid him more money. They're paying him, I read, between 7 to 8 million per year, which is, if we sign Calafiori, we're gonna pay him half of that. So they well done. They won the actual transfer. At the end of the day, if it's valuable for them, that's the most important thing. But okay, I don't really care. I care what Liverpool and Man City have done. And both of them have done absolutely nothing. Liverpool, for me, if I'm a Liverpool...
City's interested in Danny Olmo.
But why should... And they just signed Savio from is it Girona? Or
I mean, signing Savio when he's part of the City group is kind of like...
But that's not a signing, Stefan. Why do we have to wait?
No, but it's not a signing. That's not a signing. They didn't.
Why do we have to wait? But that's the thing, Stefan. Why do we have to wait for City and Liverpool to do deals for Arsenal to go ahead and make deals?
I'm not saying we're waiting. We're not waiting. We're negotiating.
But with who? Calafiori, that's it.
Yeah, with Calafiori. We're not waiting.
Can I ask you guys a question? I like Calafiori, and there were links with him and Spurs before Arsenal came into the equation. We're obviously not going to get him, but I really like him, and we actually did a show.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did still.
I did a show. No, trust me. Timo Werner's our bad boy. We did a show with Ashmatic, did a kind of 10-15 minute reel on him, and I thought, who the hell is this guy? Looks fucking brilliant going forward as a player. But he showed us pictures of him as a fullback, an attacking wingback.
Yeah,
he played centre back for Italy. Is he the player Arsenal need, or is this kind of worrying that you're signing a player where there's bigger priorities at Arsenal?
I think we needed someone, but then again, who are the names that I could say apart from like the most expensive ones? I think I like what I saw of him in the Euros, and I'm going to keep it honest and real. I didn't watch a lot of Bologna last season, so I'm not going to bullshit and say I know loads about him.
He's good.
But from what I've heard, yeah, he's good.
No, he is. He is.
I respect the caliber of player. He's obviously got into the Italian team, and you've got to respect that's big. If you're at that young age and you're in the Italian team, so I hope that
they're pretty shit right now.
But as much as I do criticize Edu and Arteta, as we know, but if they sign the right players, I'm not going to complain. If they get the right player in that's going to fit our suit, he is left-footed as well. We're going to, he can play as a left back if we need him to, which might be the case. But I just wish the thing that pisses me off, right? We're now at a point where we're a month away from the season, now less than that. I like to have players integrated into the team, unless they're, especially foreign players. I like to have them integrated in the team, working with the team in pre-season. So I really want to have at least 2 players into the club but halfway through pre-season. Listen, maybe 1 or 2 games is all right, but really we need to have these players in to start integrating with the team, because I can't be having us throwing Calafiori first game of the season. He's only been here for like a week or 2.
But wait. If you still, I agree with you in terms of priorities, but I think our priorities, if you look at our starting 11, the only 2 positions I would say that were not, I mean, they were pretty stable, but that were not fully cemented was the left back slot, which Calafiori will play. If you read the reports, he's going to play in that slot because Arteta likes to invert one of the fullbacks, which is either going to be Timber on the right or Ben White, or then he can also drop 3 players back, and Calafiori turns into a back 3 of center backs. But without the ball, he's a left back. So it's kind of like a very fluid system. I think from what I read from the stats, he is the perfect combination between the attacking capabilities of Zinchenko, which is Zinchenko, when you have the ball, is extremely good, extremely progressive when it comes to attacking wise, but he's also defensively extremely solid. So what Arteta, I think, is trying to do is what he envisioned Yuri and Timber to be, but he got injured. He envisioned another version of him on the left side. The other position for me that's a need and where we can improve is the number 8 position, in my opinion. I think we need another center mid. Everybody's going to say striker. I do agree, but in my opinion, the available strikers that are on the market are not good for the value that they want. Like Osimhen, for example. Connor, we had this discussion last month. Connor, a lot of the people that came on, they wanted Osimhen. I said then, have a look at his injury record and then come back to me and say if you want to pay over 100 million for this guy. The only guy that I would want that based on his stats is Gyökeres. I've watched him a couple of times. He has impressed me. But Gyökeres just had knee surgery. He's going to be out for 2 to 3 months. And usually when you have knee surgery, as we have seen with Gabriel Jesus, you don't always come back fit from that. So the other player that I would love, we both agree, me and Connor, is Ivan Toney, but he's a dickhead. Nobody wants him. And if you read the actual report, nobody wants him to such a degree, Stel, that Brentford are going to cut the price now just so they can sell him.
Yeah, I saw that online.
So imagine, he is, in my opinion, Ivan Toney, can easily play, I would say, for Liverpool.
He's fit in Arsenal perfectly, but if he doesn't have the attitude.
But can you imagine what an absolute prick he was in the interview with Arteta or with other coaches, that nobody wants to touch him? Nobody. Forget the off-field baggage that he also has, because that's also a big issue coming into that. So for me, the value of striker and the fact that Arsenal scored the most goals in Premier League history in terms of since the Premier League, more than the Invincibles, for me, a striker isn't as important as a left back where I can clear. I wanted to be. I thought we would get a different profile at left back.
Do you know why for me? Do you know why for me personally the nine's so important? Because if you look back at you like to think for me personally, if you're a team like Arsenal or Man City or Liverpool, you're competing for not last season for Liverpool, but you're competing for a league title, and you want to sort of work on your mistakes. You want to sort of improve on your mistakes. When you look back at last season, in games where we had to improve, don't get me wrong, they're not just the 9, there are other positions, but we look at games like the Fulham matches, the West Hams, you need goals. And you think, if we had that 9, do you know what I mean? That's why for me, it's such a crucial thing for me. And yes, Havertz is doing well there. If we sign a 9, what happens to Havertz? I don't know.
Goals. We scored 91 goals.
But where were those 91 goals in the matches where we needed to win them, Stefan?
Connor, we won out of the last 18 matches in the Premier League. We won 16.
Stefan, I know, but we didn't win the league. This is the point I'm trying to make. And if we had that 9, honestly, be honest with me? If we had a Toney or a Gyökeres last season, fully fit, would we have won the league last season? Do you think?
In my opinion, if we had Thomas Partey fully fit for the whole season...
No, answer my question. If we had Toney or Gyökeres last season, would we have won with no injuries? Would we have won the league last season? Come on, don't hold back now. I'm right.
Don't know. I don't know. First
of all, Stefan, if we had that 9, we'd have won it. I genuinely believe we would have won the games that we lost on point. Whether it was a draw or a loss. I genuinely believe if we had that striker, that man. Don't get me wrong. Respect to Havertz, he scored goals. I'm not going to piss on him. He scored goals when we needed him to. But when you need that moment, you need that player like Watkins, for example, in England. Kane doesn't show up.
I have said, me and Stel, when we did our show, Stel asked me, who is the number, if you had any player that you would want and that you would sign a number 9, and I've said this on your show, I would choose Watkins. Obviously, he's not realistic because Villa are not going to sell him. The options that we have, Toney, although we love him, he's out. He's not coming. So we have Gyökeres, Osimhen, who's also a diva and has a massive injury record, as you saw, and has only scored over 20 goals in one season in Serie A, which was when they won the league, where he wasn't even Napoli's best player that season. So in my opinion, when you score 91 goals, although I would love a top number 9, I don't see when we signed Declan Rice, I saw that's a guaranteed quality, that is pretty much certified. It's guaranteed to be quality when you sign Declan Rice. Gyökeres, although he looks amazing at Sporting, it's still a risk, Connor. You're not sure how he's going to adapt. The guy was at Brighton. Brighton never gave him
We don't know how Calafiori is going to work, Stefan.
That's true. I agree with you. But
let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you guys a question. Now that Declan Rice and Saka just played the Euros, and last season, and I'm looking at some other channels like Big Six channels, the depth of Arsenal, because I know you argue because you say Stefan Partey was injured, but your big key players like Rice, Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, you guys were fortunate you had no major injuries. Going into now another season, are you guys also looking at people for depth in regards to your team? Because last season you guys were it was a good season that injuries didn't really hurt you as much as some of the other teams.
Yeah, but Mari, you could have the same argument about Man City. Their most important player, Rodri, literally played every single game, and if Rodri gets injured, they're
I'm glad you mentioned that. They're looking for a replacement for Rodri, and their fan base is saying they need a replacement for Rodri. So that's all that question.
Okay.
Yeah, they said.
Let's see. I mean, I think, in my opinion, I would sign a top winger. I don't think the options for a number 9 are good. I would sign a top winger that can compete with Martinelli, with Trossard, with Saka. I would personally. Connor was against it. I know his injury record is horrendous. Neto. I would sign Neto. I know his injury record is terrible. I love Neto.
That is the biggest. Like, you bang on about injury records, but you'll take a guy with a bad injury record.
Yes, because a bad injury record for a guy that costs 50 to 60 million is more acceptable than a bad injury record for a guy that's over 100 million, Connor. That's just
What about why don't you go for Ollie Watkins? Why don't you put in a big bid?
I would love no, it's not happening still. Like Villa's owners are ambitious. He's on a long-term deal. He's a big Arsenal fan, supposedly. I just don't see it. I mean, they're gonna want at least he had the most goals and assists in the Premier League. He had more goals and assists than Haaland. So how much are Villa gonna ask for? I would say they're in the Champions League. They're gonna ask for a minimum at least 100 million more.
Yeah,
and there's no chance.
And additionally, they just sold Douglas Luiz, right? Because there was some talk about them needing to sell the player, right? They just sold Douglas Luiz, so it's like they don't need to sell Watkins, right? So they automatically will just shoot up the price to basically just a fuck off level, right? Yeah. Like unless Arsenal did something crazy, like I don't know, like 110 million, which is as much as I think Watkins is. Even actually, I think we did the team of the season, right? And I wanted to put Watkins over Haaland, right? Because I thought that last season Watkins performed better than Haaland in the matches.
No, in my opinion, Michael, in my opinion, he should have been player of the season, Watkins. Yeah. I have never seen a player that is more. The amount of disrespect that I read in the Twitter feed and from some channels where they're like, we need to drop Kane for Watkins. Oh, Watkins? As if Watkins was like some absolute chump who couldn't play football and like was shit. And Watkins, for me, nobody talks about him as like this top player in the Premier League for some. And when the Premier League Player of the Year started, nobody even mentioned Watkins as their favorite, which for me shocked me because to finish with the most goals and assists for Aston Villa, not for Man City or for Arsenal or even for Liverpool, who dropped off at the end of the race, was for me far more impressive than what Phil Foden did.
But you just answered why they didn't consider him because he plays for Aston Villa. Unfortunately, it's just a PR thing, right? It had to be a big 6 player because it's just those teams have the most fans, and those are usually like fan voted, or even the player voted ones usually are also skewed towards the big 6 players, right? So yeah, that's it for me. I think he was hugely disrespected, but I don't think anyone moves him from Villa unless he wants to leave himself, right? Because if Watkins wanted to move himself, if he walked into the office, through transfer request on the table, then maybe. But I think he's happy there. I think Aston Villa are happy with him. He's 28, right? So it's not like 28 long contract. Yeah,
exactly. No, but that's the other thing. Are you gonna pay 90 to over 100 million for a guy that's 28?
But Stefan, what can we stop doing this? Would you pay? If the player is fantastic, you pay the money. You pay the money.
Yes, you pay the money, but you pay the money. There's a certain threshold to everything. You can pay the money, Connor. You can do that at your own risk. Chelsea did that. Remember when they just paid the money for Romelu Lukaku? They've been trying to sell him now for 4 years. For 4 years, they can't get rid of this guy because they just paid the money, gave him 300K a week, and they've been trying. Even Saudi Arabia says he's overpaid. Yeah. Even the Saudis are like, fuck it. We don't want to pay him that much money. So it's easy to actually say that. Or even Grealish. Look at Grealish. Let's be honest, 2 out of the 3 seasons since they've paid the 100 million, he's been shit. He's been last season he was horrendous.
put him on team.
with Grealish, when Man City signed him, I remember saying the way it was trying to make him play is wrong. You signed the player that is a dribbler that beats players that can cut teams open, and he's turned him into a passer, and he's coached.
You know,
He's coached
System
main-
player. Told him.
you know, ironically, I know this will never happen, right? But I think for the system that we supposedly want to play, I think he would be perfect, right? I know it will never happen. It's just like dilly-dallying, right? But I think that dribbly, you know, just go out there and do your shit type of winger. I think he would suit that perfectly, right? Instead,
we've
Brennan
signed
Johnson and
Timo
Timo
Werner.
Werner. Yeah.
We got Timo Werner.
Here we go. He's gonna go on the Timo Werner rant.
Honestly, you should. Honestly, he should. He
Listen,
should as much as he can.
Stefan thinks I'm joking. About 3 weeks ago, we were talking on WhatsApp, and I told him I've written off next season. He's like, "Oh, come on, Stel, don't be like that." I'm like, "Bro, listen to me. I've written off next season," and he's like, "No, you can't do that. Don't do it." I'm gonna repeat it now. As soon as we signed Timo Werner, I went on We Are Tottenham TV. I laid it out to everyone who watches that channel. I laid it out on here. I've put it across. Next season for me is a write-off. Forget it.
I thought last season was a write-off as well.
No, it wasn't.
Last season, I had hope because it was new. But you know what? In my face. But I still predicted with
Connor,
once we got to January and we didn't sign established talent to strengthen, I said,
"What do you mean? You signed Dragonson. You signed the next."
I said established talent, right?
Connor, I know you guys came in late because Michael knows my views. I'm already checked out. I'm struggling to
forget
I'm not checked
out.
Guys,
you just beat Hearts 5-1
to the left. Like,
no. Did you see the game? It's deceptive.
Yes, I did. Like
deceptive.
Michael, I'm right every year. Every year I've been right.
Listen, I'm not.
I'm gonna be right. If we don't sign 3 top players, like proper players, not Mbappe,
come on, do me a favor.
We're not gonna get that. No,
Connor, do you remember?
Why can't Spurs sign Eze, Connor, why can't Spurs sign Eze? Why can't we get Eze?
Well, let's look
I don't know.
The only reason I say come on is because look at obviously your previous windows. You signed that one player that everyone's really hyped up about.
My question is, forget what we've done in the past. Right now, would Eze come to Spurs if we paid the money? Would he say no?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think.
Right.
I mean, listen.
So.
Depends still.
If we sign three players of that caliber,
Liverpool come into the market,
then we're not going to get him. We're not going to get him.
They're more attractive clubs.
Absolutely, but if they don't, okay, if we get 3 players of that caliber to play a 6, attacking wide player, maybe a backup to the number 10 role or a striker. If we can get 3, then I won't write off next season. But right now, I'm looking at Turbo Wiener, and Archie fucking Gray.
40 million.
40 million. What is he? Is he a midfielder, centre back? What's going on here?
He's a kid. That's all I know. He's a kid.
Don't look at the preseason game. It was just.
Yeah, why the fuck are you a centre back?
Give Archie Gray a couple of years. Give him a couple of years, and then I'll have a serious conversation.
And then there'll be another Dane Scarlett, Troy Parrott, and then he'll be off again. See you later.
He might be. Listen, he might be good. I don't know.
He's the next Steven Gerrard style. Come on now. He's the next Steven Gerrard.
No, I'm going to keep it real. Right?
He's generational.
I don't know is my answer. But what I do know is this: he's not proven.
No,
that's
not
my point.
For that amount of money. Now listen, I would have been fucked off
if
Arsenal
proven,
signed
that's
that amount of money.
He could turn out to be great.
35, 40 million for an 18-year-old.
Connor, see, this is what I mean.
No. This is where you piss me off. Young players for good money, not fucking 35 to 40 million.
Connor, all of you've said the whole time is, I don't care about the money, sign the player. Now I would have been pissed off if we had paid that much money. Which one is it, Connor? Which one is it?
An 18-year-old.
He might be generational.
I love when 2 Arsenal supporters are fighting.
No, it's just Connor. No,
we had appreciate. It's taken us nearly a month to sign a fucking 18-year-old from fucking Ajax, a goalkeeper.
What's going on here?
Tell me, okay. If you look at this transfer market objectively, and you look at the value of signings that they have gone by, it's been pretty shit. 60 million for it has. Yeah, but it's been 60 million for Euro, greatly overpriced.
Okay.
Amadou Onana
But aren't they paying that over a certain amount of seasons though?
Yeah, but you're still paying 60 million for a
Yeah,
guy
I
that
get
has.
that.
Wait. But the worst part is
most transfers aren't in one batch, right?
Yeah. But the worst part is they paid 60 because you're all about overpaying for a young player, weren't you, Connor? They're paying 60. Yeah, they're paying 60 million for an 18-year-old that has 1 year left on his contract. Only Man United could pay 60 million like they did with Mason Mount. That he has 1 year left on his contract. When Real Madrid were offering,
And also, sorry, I have to.
I know the Arsenal could sign a player for free, but pay fucking pay 3 million for it as well.
I have to pick on something that Mari said. He didn't reject Real Madrid. Real Madrid told him to fuck off because he doesn't want to pay.
Real Madrid,
Real Madrid said that they will pay 25 and no more.
Yeah.
And if he wants to come, either he comes for 25 or waits a year and comes on the free. He said no. He went to United. He didn't reject Real Madrid.
Right?
But guys, if you read the media PR spin that Ineos are doing this whole kind of drive, they've gazumped Real Madrid. They have changed. No, they haven't. It's the same shit, different, different types.
Speaking of PR shit, right? The amount of content our social media does with Archie Gray and Bergvall, they are literally just fucking here a stadium tour by our two youngsters, here a training video of our youngsters, here
when did you sign that Bergvall? When did you sign him?
January. We signed him in January.
Because I was like, who is this guy? Like, I saw him on the face, like, who the hell is he? I was like, oh yeah.
If you look at, I'm really intrigued to see the amount of money that's being spent on players under 21. I would hazard a guess that over the last year, Spurs have paid easily the most amount of money. If you look at Bergvall, Velis, Archie Gray,
Stefan, it's 40 million for Archie Gray, 10 million. Jet Spence was 2 years ago, right? But Fini was free. So Ashley Phillips, Velis, Bergvall was 10 million, Vuskovic was 12. But
Bergvall was 15, I think, wasn't he?
Maybe 15.
What are you talking about? Bergvall was 30 million pounds, man.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Guys, he was 50. I think it was either 13 or 15 million. I don't remember. It was like
I remember this. Hold on.
I will say this. A big up.
Everyone's googling.
If
10 million euros.
If Levy
how much was it?
10 million euros on transfer.
Okay, so we're both super wrong then.
If Levy was
really cheap,
I would say if Levy was to sign,
Dragusin was 30.
Yeah, Dragusin was 30.
You're right.
Hey, Dragusin is under 21, by the way.
No, he's not. No, Dragusin.
I think he's 21.
No, 22, 23. No.
Oh, okay.
Listen,
Sorry.
8.5 million for Bergvall is not bad. He looks like he could.
If Levy was to sign,
he's 22.
Tony and Zubamendi,
You're not signing Zubamendi.
Yeah,
it's
just an example, I think, right?
I will shut up the rest of the season in regards to Levy. I would not even say a word. That's how much I know that would. I mean, that would never.
What's happening with Spurs outgoings? You don't seem to sell them anymore.
Connor's just throwing little mini grenades, and I love it.
Everything,
them, Connor.
You're fucking shit stirrer.
Tony has and Zubamendi in the midfield. That would make us easily a top 14.
Hey, what's going on with Spurs outgoings? You lot ain't selling anyone yet.
Daniel Levy won't accept the prices clubs are offering, right? So AC Milan have offered about £10 million.
Yeah, for Emerson Royale. Why is he?
Stel, come on. That's a fucking joke, Stel. That's a fucking joke.
He's an abysmal football player.
Yeah, but he's still worth more than that. Stel, he's still worth more than that.
15 though. He's not worth 25.
Levy refusing below 20 million.
Still, they offered 10 million euros, the same amount you paid for Bergvall, for a guy that has extensive Premier League experience and La Liga experience.
I'm doing what?
Okay, he still has experience.
He came on against the mighty Hearts.
Yeah, that's another
It's got
Wait, I've got to say, respect to Jed Spence. He was sick in that match, by the way. Jed Spence was sick. He was really, really good against Hearts.
Great.
Yeah, it's fucking Hearts under 21s, right?
No, but I've got to say, he was fucking cold though.
Yeah, he looked good, but he probably
probably load him out again or sell him
like,
again. Do what you want.
you know,
That's another
respectfully, right? But
Oh, dear.
that's another player that doesn't fit the character that you need at a club. He's another diva. I've read at Leeds, they didn't like him to such a degree that they kicked him out after 6 months.
Who's that? Archie Gray?
No, Jed Spence. He was on loan, and they sent him back because he was supposedly he was late to meetings. He was a prick to coaches. Read there was a piece on it in the
thanks,
Athletic.
Appreciate your faith.
No, but my point is still is that I agree with you. But the funniest valuation isn't Emerson Royale still. I read Leicester were interested in Oliver Skip, and Levy wants £30 million. What a legend! What a fucking piss taker! Oh my, that is just legendary.
Also, apparently, Leeds, I think, were interested in Skip, and Skip rejected Leeds, right? So we apparently wanted to accept the bid, but he rejected the move, right?
We get more playtime at Leeds.
Yeah, like we actually like got rid of 4 players, Connor, because I don't know if you were asking seriously or not, but those were just they weren't part of the squad anyways, right?
The best one, guys. Well done to this. You had the balls
Gordon.
finally. And Dombele.
Oh, and Dombele, yeah.
Well done, guys.
Finally.
Do you know what? Right, I'm going to keep it so honest and real here. I probably should shut up about after making signings because I'm looking at this right now, and we're currently less than 30 days away from the first game of the season, right? And the best players that have been signed so far in terms of fee, Euro's the highest. Listen to this. Euro's the highest, as in signed, not sold, signed. Then it's Max Kilman to West Ham.
40 million.
Villa. Yeah, 40 million.
Xerxes to United, Archie Gray to Tottenham, Elliot Anderson for 40 million. What a fucking steal from Newcastle. Dewsbury Hall.
No, that wasn't a steal. That wasn't a steal. That was just them cooking their books. that wasn't a steal.
Can I just say?
But it's like the level is actually dead. How deep at the level for
no,
players?
but look the only wait. Let me just so the only if you look at the signings, I would say the only value based on the signing and what I have watched is Kieran Dewsbury Hall for 30 million. That is the only signing where I think that is reasonable. 60 million for Lenny Yoro? No, I'm sorry. 40 million for Archie Gray? I know you guys are going to say Spurs, but I would never.
Is he a right back? According to Footmob, he's a right back.
He's apparently he's centre mid, but he played most of the last season as a right back.
Centre mid, DM, and a right back. What the fuck is he?
No, he's played.
He's a versatile generational.
No, but supposedly
give a guy a chance, right?
Yeah, like supposedly, and
I said I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
No, but you guys have to give him credit. Supposedly he's a number 6, but because of injury problems last year, he had to play most of his time at right back, and he did really well. Now his underlying stats look horrendous at right back, but so did Van de Ven, and Van de Ven proved them wrong last season. So it could happen with Archie Gray, but I don't understand why he didn't move to Brentford. He's not going to play at right back. Pedro Porro is better than him
because Tottenham is massive.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are at least kind of bigger than Brentford, right? So
we are competing with Brentford for players.
Big up to Faz. He says Rice and Saka only plays who look used to second place.
Yeah, cheers, Faz. Cheers for the super chat, mate. Like your opinion.
Which goes to my next question. As of today, I'm going only
I'm not doing this again.
Today, as of today, I kind of already gave it, and of course I got the heat. Well, I got some ingredients, but I got the heat. As of today, because for me, till the ink dry. That's my motto. Till the ink dry. I know someone previously, I won't mention a name, used to say till they hold the shirt up, but I won't mention that person's name. That was the past. So I have my motto until the contract ink dries. As of today, I think, in my opinion, United is going to have a better season than us. Newcastle maybe challenge us. It could be as high as 6, and I'm being honest, it could be as bad as 9th.
Can I be so honest, Mike? I'm so honest, right?
No. Let me land. The only reason I say this because the starting 11, right? And I know the defense is going to come back, but I have so many questions about our midfield. Yesterday against Hearts, and people keep saying it's preseason. Well, I don't care if it's preseason, but Suma should be bossing Hearts. He played terrible. Kulu, I'm like, really? Papa Sarr has to be better this season on the ball. There's so many questions about the front and midfield for me that I'm like, it could be bad, it could be 9th or 10th. But the best I think person we could do is 6, which that means we've gone backward. So that's as of today, my prediction on Spurs. Arsenal, I know this year they have to cross the line, but as of now when the ink dries with Calafari, I think, oh wow, okay, because I like that signing. I know City got Savio, but if City gets, well, no, I'm going to go as of today. I think Arsenal could pipe City. I think they could pipe City. Those are my predictions.
You know what? You say no, right? Still, I've already said this. If we got the right players, we'll fucking beat. I generally think we could go ahead and beat.
Guys, I don't think we should do these predictions now. Let's do them right after the final day of the window.
Yeah,
I've already said.
Right now, today, as it stands, right, Arsenal are not finishing above Man City.
No, they're not.
This I can agree with, but
I just want to quickly throw out.
We were 2 points away. We were super minuscule, just.
And you haven't improved. You haven't improved the team.
I mean, if we sign Calafiori, we're definitely.
Yeah, that's why it's still set right now, right?
Yes, right now. Okay. But don't forget. Timber is going to be like a new signing next year. So add him to the team too.
So Savio for Man City.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. But Savio, Timber, in terms of
Savio, I think is going to be he's going to be very, very good.
He's brilliant.
He's not going to play.
He's rapid.
He is. He's better than.
He's not better than Silva. Still, Silva plays on the right wing. He's not going to play.
Hasn't Silva been linked to the move out?
No, Savio plays left.
No, he plays right.
Would I have Dewsbury Hall? Yes, I actually always liked him.
No, I wouldn't take him. I wouldn't take fucking Dewsbury.
I like Dewsbury Hall. I actually like him as a player. Do I think he's gonna super upgrade us in the midfield? But I actually think that was another stupid signing from Chelsea. I don't understand why they signed him when they have so many midfielders. But I like Dewsbury Hall. I think he's good. I think he's a very good player.
With Arsenal, all I think you need is a goal scorer. And the reason I say this is there's games. And I'll tell you why I say this. Hear me out. There's games I saw you last year where you were the better team, but you didn't take chances. Example: Aston Villa away. Example: Newcastle away. There's games I watched you play. Tottenham and the Emirates, right? There's games I saw you play and I thought, if you had an Aubameyang, if you had an Henry, if you had an Ian Wright,
okay,
you're going to win these games.
But still, I could counter that and say there's games where if we had a better defensive left back, Zinchenko, for example, we win at Anfield. We
You
win
had the
at
best
Villa.
defense.
No,
You had
we
the
win
best
at
defense.
Villa. We also win at Villa because of the fact, or we don't lose. Because if you watch those goals against Villa and at Liverpool, it was because Zinchenko got rinsed on that side.
All right, Stefan,
So-
let me ask you this. Okay, let me
So
ask you this.
I can
What
make
is
the
it-
same
what is
counter
it-
argument
okay,
to you.
All right, let me ask you this then. What is it easier for you as a club to do? Improve your defense or improve your attack?
In my opinion, the position that we currently have and the most easily upgradable position and the least stable position from last year is obvious. It's left back. It's not striker. We scored over 90 goals last year. Scoring
league.
is not an issue for us.
It is when you're winning. See, this is skewed though, because you won a lot of games 6-0, 5-0. Doesn't matter. What about the games you lost where you created big chances and no one put in the back of the net? That's where you need a striker. This is where Harry Kane saved us and got us top
Oh, here
four
we go.
years. No, Stefan, what I'm saying is
Oh, here we go.
there's many seasons Spurs got into top four because we had someone that could put that ball in the back of the net. He carried him and Son.
Exactly.
Right?
I
I don't think Arsenal have got that.
I think the thing that we lack, I do agree with you in terms of to some degree, where I think what we lack is a winger or a midfielder that can do something magical from nothing, kind of like what Man City had with Foden
And
scoring.
what's
long range
Odegaard?
shots.
What's Odegaard then, Stefan?
No, but I think they're great players, but I like, for example, I picture if we had Alexis Sanchez in this team. If we had Alexis in this team, we win the league easily because Alexis Sanchez had that quality.
Let's go buy him. He's still playing. Let's go buy him.
Yeah, no, but in my opinion, I love Odegaard and I love Saka, and I know they're still really young and they can up their game even
Because
more.
Martinelli had a shit season last year.
Yeah, but Martin, that's my point.
He's been trained to be at number 9. He's been trained to be at number 9.
No, but wait, it's not that. If you read the reports from the most credible Arsenal guys, like the ones the most in the know, the reason why they link Martinelli's the reason why they link Martinelli's poor form last year was because of the instability of left back. And that's why there's and they think that if they sign a very good left back that can play both ways in terms of he's about like for example, like someone like Ben White or a Timber, hopefully, that we see. If we sign a Califer who can defend and who's great at running with the ball and taking people on and passing also, this will elevate Martinelli's game again and will enhance that. So that's why we're after this type of player. In my opinion, I agree with you, Stel. There were games where if we had a clinical striker like Harry Kane, barring it's a semifinal or final, if it's in a league game, yeah. If it was against Aston Villa where it was 0-0, yeah, if we gave him all those chances, he would have scored. But we can have these hypotheticals all day. I can point out to you that the goal that Aston Villa scored, as I said, was because of Zinchenko's defensive ability. If Califuori was there, or even Tomiyasu wasn't injured,
It finished 0-0.
no.
Okay. Point.
Okay, yes, then that's 1 point. We don't lose that game. Anfield, we're leading 1-0. Yeah, Anfield, we're leading 1-0. We don't concede that goal.
Stefan, if you win that game, you've won the Premier League. So I'm saying.
Yeah, but also Stelios, if they didn't lose at Villa and didn't draw at Anfield, they also win the league, right? So I guess his points also stands, right? If there were,
I've never known an Arsenal team to
wait.
not have a striker that scores over 20 goals a season.
Steph,
Never.
Steph, by the way,
Go on.
I agree.
What was Aubameyang?
I agree with you. I think they need a 9, but I don't think it's as crucial as people think it is. Right? If the team scores 90 goals, then how much more does the striker add?
Wait. Let me.
I get your point. Still, I get your point. I just think they need to improve the squad.
I don't think.
Still. Wait. Just imagine. I'm the coach. You're the owner. You have all the money. Okay.
Yeah.
I come to you and say, listen, I want 100 million to sign a top number 9. And then the guy next to you that is the stats guy or the scouts guy that they always have, some analyst, he says, why do you want us to spend almost 70% of our budget when we scored over 90 goals? Like you as the owner, would you spend that money
And the same stats guy will say, why would you want to spend the money on a defense when you had the best defense in the league?
In my opinion, I agree with you, but in my opinion, what we lacked last year was not the fact that we didn't have a top goal scorer. What we lacked was depth. I would spend that 100 million on a left back and on another top winger or midfielder. That is what I would do, because then if we improve our depth, we'll be able to be more rotational. That's why supposedly for midfield, we really like the Spanish guy. What's his name?
Jimenez.
No. The big guy.
Oh, Spanish, not Mexican.
Mikel Merino. We really like Mikel Merino because we don't have a profile like that in our squad. In terms of as like a number 8, we do in Declan Rice, but we don't have another type of athletic profile like him because we have Jorginho and Partey is too injury prone. So in my opinion, depth was the difference last year, not the striker position. We scored from, I think it was from November until the end. We scored the most amount of goals. We scored more goals than Man City. So how can you say that a striker's how can I go to the owner and say, listen, I want 100 million on a top striker when I think apart from the last 2 weeks of through 2 weeks of the season still, Arsenal had the most goals in the league. I think scored more goals than Man City.
I think Stefan is the intangibles. I see what you're saying, but like still saying that you need that striker. Like when you needed a goal, like that big goal, Champions League and to cross the line, you didn't have it. And you have certain players who have that intangible to score when it really counts. I get what you're saying. The stats shows that you got all these goals, but
look at what they got like really 5 games, man, where they're smashing teams 6-0, 6-0, the shit teams.
But still, so do Man City.
But they score the clutch goals. They get those goals from Haaland. Right, they get the. He can go on a slump, but
I would. Okay.
I'm saying when you desperate, Stefan, when I'm saying you desperately need that winning goal, right? You were depending on a 96-minute Declan Rice header at Luton away. You shouldn't have got.
This is the thing. Look, Stefan, talk about winger.
Okay, wait,
real quick, Stefan. You talk about winger, right? No, listen. I mean, literally 2 seconds, right? No, you talk about quickly. Just about literally 2 seconds. You talk about you want a winger, but we look at we talk about City and Liverpool. We're watching them do business. They've not done anything yet. But you look at their team. Correct. They have that big. But no. I'm saying they have that big boy. They've got Haaland and a little guy Salah. They have the ones that get the goal was 25 plus every season. Arsenal don't have that at the moment. Don't you think that Arsenal need that as well?
But Connor, I think we have better because of the fact that the moment Salah goes to shit, they're fucked because Salah scores. I read it was crazy. I didn't know this about Liverpool. Salah, I think, almost scores 40% of their goals and assists. It was like something shockingly high that he makes up in terms of their goal percentage. Haaland also, and still points out, in the big games where you need a goal, who scored their most important goals last season? It wasn't Haaland in the last 4 or 5 weeks. It was fucking Gvardiol.
Yeah, but I'm talking about you, right? I'm looking at you, Stefan, and against Crystal Palace, right? These are teams that were batting for relegation at the time. Crystal Palace in January. Okay. Burnley got relegated. Sheffield United, who got relegated. And against there was one other that I saw here.
West Ham, we beat 6-0.
West Ham, who collapsed.
A Chelsea team that was in form, we beat 5-0.
Stefan, let me finish. Against those teams, you scored 22 goals. That is almost a quarter of all your goals in 4 games. Okay. My point I'm making is this: when you really need it, when you really need that moment, for example, Man City away. You went to Man City away. You didn't score. You had a couple of chances in that game. You had a couple. A striker puts one in the back of the net. This is what I'm saying.
By the way, guys,
I think you need a clutch moment striker. That's what I'm saying. You need a clutch moment.
By the way,
but okay, still, who is that guy? Still, tell me, who is that guy?
Listen, my knowledge of the football world is not the greatest. Okay,
that's major strikers. I would
fraud. If you can get him.
Yeah, go on, Michael. Yeah.
By the way, looking at how much money Arsenal spends in the last windows, right? I don't see a reason why you can't get both the winger and the striker.
Thank you.
That's
But
honestly
no.
like
FFP, Mihal, FFP.
Yes,
bullshit. You are paying
FFP.
We need to sell some players.
How do you feel, Stefan? Tell me, how do you feel that we've just rejected 30 million for Smith Rowe? 30 million.
Yeah, but supposedly they're gonna come back. So if we sell him for 35, 40, let's see.
Yeah, then I'll respect it.
You're gonna come back and offer 25.
No. I honestly think they're gonna sell him. I think 35 million for me would be my go-to fee. 30 million if, let's say, there's no interest and they offer me that 30 million, okay, but there's still 1 month to go. I'm sure there's plenty of clubs that are interested in Smith Rowe. He's a super talented player. If he's not,
Andres Pereira's linked with Chelsea now, apparently, so I think they need that 10.
Oh my God, that'll be fucking amazing. Please sign Andres Pereira, please. He's
Can I say, guys, I'm not worried at all about Chelsea next year. I think they're going
to be fourth.
What did I tell you about Chelsea? They're a shit show.
I've put them fourth next season.
No. I have to.
That happened with Chelsea.
Not keeping Poch. They're going to pay the price.
I think they're going to finish fourth next season.
Poch is the key thing, and then the second thing is now the whole Enzo thing, because it's really big, is really causing a rift. I'm so happy for their new coach. What's his name?
Enzo
Maresca. Mascara, makeup. The name. Mascara.
That'll be a good one, actually. Mascara, yeah. Enzo Mascara.
Mascara. That whole Enzo, and like I said, didn't want to go too much into it, because there is a disappointment in regards of what he did, and some other players who were on that bus did, so very disappointed. But it's going to be a huge elephant in that room, and that's really bad. I think it's going to really rock Chelsea.
No. If they want to have a successful season, they need to move him on. Like, let's.
Yeah, they gotta need to. Yeah, they
need to move him on.
I have to ask, right? Because you did the preseason predictions, Mario, right? And you said that we will finish 7th, and I've seen plenty of people in the chat saying that both Man United and Chelsea will finish above us. Based on what exactly?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Sorry, I don't think we'll finish top 4, right? But based on what Chelsea and United will finish above us, because United is as much of a shit show as they were, and they just signed like 2 kids, basically. Right, and they still have Ten Hag, who was absolutely
wait, Michael,
they just signed Ugarte, and
for 60 million.
They haven't signed Ugarte yet, right?
But it's official. Signed Ugarte.
What? No. They haven't signed him. They've agreed personal terms. They need to move on Casemiro or McSauce. Holy shit! That's
apparently Tottenham are interested in McSauce. It was on tonight. They were saying that Tottenham.
I've seen it, right? But
I'm looking at Bleacher Report. It just said
personal terms have been agreed. Not that deal's done yet.
Wait, guys.
Okay. So
don't listen to Connor, because his sources sometimes are really dodgy. But
bullshit.
First Romano. So it's close. It's close to happen.
Can I quickly describe it for Spurs fans? Is this Ange's last? Like, do you reckon he'll get sacked this season, Ange?
So I have no fucking clue, depending on who we sign, right? But
my prediction last year in fucking September, I said it. This football is not going to work. They're going to get fed up. He's going to be sacked.
He's a good manager, Stefan. He's better than Arteta. He's better than Arteta.
You said that, Connor, not me. You said that. Remember at the start of the season, not me. I said if he doesn't get the signings, or he doesn't try and change his style when he gets into Europe, he's gone. I would say by the typical Levy notice period of March, April of the second season.
Before a cup final.
In my opinion, I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see what happens with Spurs next year. I think
it'll be sucked before a cup final.
I personally
answer this. He loves
No chance. No, he is one of the worst finishers.
He loves
Martinez.
no. Martinez, the last 2 years, he's been money. And the reason why we're celebrating Copa, he's been ice cold money.
Because he scored the winning goal. Stop with this,
No,
Mar.
he
You know this.
He scored the most goals of any player between the Euros and Copa. He scored 5 goals. And he
Yeah,
had
but Stefan, hold on, Stefan. How can you say he's got bad finishing when he scored over 25 goals for the last 3 years?
he's
telling you, I have watched him. I have watched him for Inter. He is not. He is not the striker. He is not the actual.
He scored like nearly 30 goals last season, Stefan.
In Italy. In Italy, yes.
Oh, in Italy. Oh, okay, that's the excuse.
No, he was money last year for Inter. And he's money
He's not clinical. That's my opinion. He's not clinical.
Can we go back onto Ange? I don't think he's getting.
Yeah, I
don't think Ange is getting.
Stelis, I think he is, just because I can already see how this fan base reacts to him. Already so many people are pissed the fuck off with him. No, wait, right. Stelis, let me finish, right? So many people are pissed off with him, right? And I just think they are literally waiting for a reason to turn on him. Like, I see so many people that are, and listen, I don't blame them, right? But I think this club reacts so much to what our fans want, basically, right? If the fans will get pissed off with Ange and want him gone, he's gone already, right? Because I don't think the club really like want him to be the face of the rebuild, or however you want to call it, right? I personally wouldn't sack him even if he doesn't do well next season, right? Because like I'm sick of sacking managers, right? But I just think he's gone, because as soon as something goes bad with him, he will be like the fan base will turn on him, like they do with every fucking manager, every single manager. This fan base take.
But Michael,
let me see a bit. Hold on.
Yeah.
I think the complete opposite. I think because of this fan base, he's going to stay. That what I'm hearing, the love for Ange Ball, the love for how he is with.
No, you were the same.
Let me finish.
You were the same.
Yeah, you were. He was, wasn't he? He was. Back Ange will leave you out. What was it? No, back Ange. What was the thing that he posted on Twitter? Everywhere. In January, this year, January, you posted all over Twitter, WhatsApp, back Ange will leave you out.
1 minute.
He said if he resigns Timo Werner.
I didn't even finish what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's finish.
We'll go through all these things you're saying in a minute, right?
Yeah, go on.
I listen to the YouTube channels. I listen to the podcasts. I listen to those that are connected to the media that have got podcasts. They are hellbent that this is the moment for Spurs now with Ange, right? I think we could crash out the cups, come 6th, and he'll get another chance with this fan base. For me, I will always blame Levy over the manager. I'm with Michael. Sick of firing managers. I'm sick of it. Yeah. So I don't care who the manager is anymore. I just don't care. And regarding that tweet, I said back Ange or Levy out, meaning I don't want Levy here. He's the problem. And if Ange fails, I put it on Levy because Levy hired him. Levy put this guy in charge. So look, I'm always Levy out above everything. But I do think the fan base has lost its mind with the manager without the manager proving anything to us. What's he proven to us? Other than he's really lovable. He's a really nice guy, which he is. But as a football manager, listen, I was one of those calling him out saying, this is ridiculous. Even I said to Stefan last season, you remember, I said, Stefan, you're right. This football isn't sustainable. Stefan called it before me, but then I came on board. I said, I agree with you. We can't be doing this every game. This is suicide.
I agree myself.
I did change my position.
I think that there is a lot of things that we need to adapt if you want to do like something. I don't know what, right? But if you want to do better, we have to adapt, right? We cannot play like both inverted fullbacks, always going gung-ho. I think we should be adapting to the opposition. I think we should be. Yeah, nobody inverts both, right? I mean, if you play against fucking Sheffield United, maybe you can do it, right? But it's.
Michael, even in that game, if you watch the first 15-20 minutes of that game, Sheffield could have scored 2 goals in that game.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, right? Maybe it was disrespectful to say this thing about Sheffield, right? But yeah, it's basically I think there is a lot of stuff that he needs to change. I don't think he necessarily will, based off of how he's been doing like over the past year, and even now with the preseason game. Although I don't want to like make like harsh judgments off of like a 90 minutes played against Hearts where we didn't have any defenders on the pitch, right? So yeah, I want to see like a bit more, right? But as I said, like I don't want a manager to be sacked, and it's not about Ange for me, right? It's not that I'm not part of that wank fest that's going on about Ange and listen, like I'm not part of that, right? I'm just sick of firing and hiring, right? Because that doesn't like fix the issue. I think even if he isn't the guy, he probably isn't the guy. I don't think he will win us something, right? But at least give him time and let him like develop players, let him develop a play style, let him develop the mentality and finish the fucking clear out, right? Because that's one thing that I want the most, is to actually get rid of the shit players, right? And if that happens under him and he doesn't win, I don't mind, then the next guy comes in. And now I will look differently, especially if it's a bit of an established name, right?
You know what the tragedy is here? You know what the tragedy is here? This team we've currently got best suits Conte. Okay, he's
perfect. It's
perfect for Conte.
But if we're not going to do, if we're going to do Project Youth, right? If this is the big secret formula that they're going to unleash, then Pochettino's actually the man for us. Poch is the best man.
Oh no, I can already see it now. I can already see it. I can already see the last Joker.
We get back in to win over everyone. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, it's even though I'm going to say this now. I don't think Poch is ever coming back to Spurs. What I saw, how he dealt with Chelsea.
No.
Yeah, what I saw, how he dealt with Chelsea was one of, I learned my lessons from PSG and from Spurs. And you can fuck off and give me some credit for the position. We improved significantly in the last end of the season, and you can give me some say in the transfers. I'm not doing this bullshit again. They told him no. They told him no. Yeah, no. They told him no, and Poch stuck to his guns and said, "You know what? Okay, I'm going. Thank you. Yeah, screw you guys. Let's see you with Enzo Maresca, who, by the way,
Levy mentored
him. I watched one of the Leicester fans because I was just intrigued what their reaction was to Enzo Maresca leaving. I was really shocked because I saw that they had a really good season and they won the championship. Leicester fans were not very enthused by Maresca. They weren't really impressed. They like the stuff I read was that one, he was extremely tactically stubborn, and the second one was that they almost choked at the end because
that's the main reason, right?
Yeah,
Wayne is here, right? We can ask Wayne. I've seen him in the chat, right?
Yeah, Wayne can tell me, but I've noticed the Leicester fans were quite lukewarm to him, kind of staying or leaving. They really weren't impressed. And let's see. I mean, I'm intrigued. I really think you guys are sleeping on the main team that. Oh, thank you, Wayne. No, but
sleeping on who? By the way,
no, yeah. Please, Wayne, comment on Leicester. Is that true, or what was I watching? Oh, okay. So yeah, because I was like, and I saw they had over 90 points. They qualified. So you're thinking we want to continue with this guy, but Leicester fans were like, yeah, okay, yeah, he was good, but we're not like two-faced. And I was really surprised at that.
Anyone who signs Harry Winks needs to have a medical.
As far as I know, as far as I know, and Wayne can correct me on that, right? But Leicester were like clearly the most favorite of the favorites to win the championship, right?
Yeah,
because they are one of the bigger teams that has
biggest money, budget,
biggest money, biggest budget, biggest everything, and they were absolutely pissing the league until like I think it was January, February or something, right?
Yeah,
they had like one loss or something stupid like that,
had a good season again, didn't he?
Yeah, no, Vardy hardly played.
No. The player of the season, from what I think it was
Mavdidi.
Mavdidi. Yeah, he was their best player.
Yeah, but and then they started choking extremely, right? And this is, I think, the reason, because like it was expected for them to be first, and they shouldn't have to worry about what's behind them, right? And they actually had to worry, and they actually had to like bring themselves together and fight for that first place with Ipswich and other clubs.
They
right?
almost lost it for a
got it,
period of weeks. They were second. They lost it. I remember at the end, Ipswich could have snatched it from them, but they won it. I think I forgot who did they beat. They had a big clash, one of the top three, and I think that was it Leeds. Was it Leeds that they beat? Was it? I forgot. It was one of the top places.
Leeds shut themselves against QPR.
Leeds completely shut themselves, and one Leeds fan, because I also watched the Leeds reaction to Archie Gray. The Leeds reaction to Archie Gray was very different to the Maresca. The Maresca one was like fans were like, okay, but it's not the end of the world. Like, okay. The Leeds one, I got reactions. Either fans were really, really like, why the fuck did we sell him? Like, he's 18, he's very talented. We should have tried to keep him and stuff and shown him like that we're ambitious. But then the other side are like, he's not ready. He's nowhere near ready he's not ready for Spurs and for like, and they're like, they were shocked that he chose to go to Spurs instead of going to like a Brentford or some more of a stepping stone club. But going back to your preseason predictions, I'm going to say this. You guys are really sleeping on Newcastle. I think Newcastle next year.
What about Crystal Palace?
What
about Crystal
Palace
Palace?
is going to sell everybody. Palace is
Palace are going to finish 10th again or something like that, right?
So they're not playing Europe. They still have Guimaraes. They still have
Botman is going to be fit.
Gordon.
Don't forget.
Botman is out with ACLs until the end of the year.
No, don't forget the signing that was banned. He's coming back in 1 month. Tonali.
I was saying that. In the chat, think I'm being too harsh. I said Newcastle might be better than us. I know Villa's definitely better than us.
And only that Pope missed 6 months of the season. He, in my opinion, is by far England's best goalkeeper.
Anthony Gordon didn't even play in the Euros. He had a break.
He had a break, and then don't forget, Joe Linton also missed half of the actual season.
See you, Connor. By the way.
See you later, guys. I've got to shoot. Take care. Thanks for having me on. Guys.
By the way, I agree. Like Arsenal, City, and
guys, Liverpool. Guys, I'm really down on Liverpool. I really think Liverpool are gonna have a shit.
They won't be worse than us.
Arsenal, City, Newcastle for me. Are
Newcastle
definitely
third?
finishing. No. I'm not giving you the order. I'm saying who will finish above us, right? But I think Arsenal, City, Newcastle,
and United
will definitely finish above us. I think Aston Villa. I think you are underestimating how big of a thing Champions League is for them, because they are not making like those, top of the cream.
Michael, they just sold arguably their best player.
They arguably sold.
They brought in 2 players. They brought in.
Yeah, but they're not. Amadou and
Weston McKenzie, right? I'm not going to.
Stephen, whose midfield you still take? You take their midfield or our midfield right now? Even
honestly, without Doug, I really like Yuri Tillemans. I would have liked him at Arsenal, but again, both midfields. Onana, I really think is overhyped. I think on the ball he's really poor.
They got McGinn.
Oh yeah,
McGinn. Onana or Bissouma?
Yeah, they're both not good.
The question is,
because Onana is great.
I'll take Onana. I'll take as a number 6.
Onana's terrible on the ball.
It's a steady Eddie. Right? McGinn is always gonna give you a 7.
McGinn.
Bissouma last season was shocking, man.
Yeah,
but yesterday. It was shocking yesterday.
Sick of it.
It was shocking yesterday.
Wait, but guys, Bentancur should come back much better. I rate Bentancur, even though I think Villa's.
I hope.
Unless you said it because of the races and stuff.
You said he goes to the big game, Stefan.
He goes missing, but his basic level when it comes to playing in the actual mid-table games and the lower teams was very good. He was easily your best midfielder, I agree. Villa's best midfield on paper to this day is slightly better. I rate McGinn over any of your midfielders, and I really like Yuri Tillemans. I know a lot of people don't rate him because he can't run, but he's really good on the ball. I really like it.
McGinn is good. He's a solid 7. He will always give you a solid.
So basically,
But guys,
Mari,
you're missing.
yeah.
Go on, Michael.
Coming back to my point, right? I think, as I said, like City, Arsenal, Newcastle, I think definitely finish above us, right? Aston Villa, I think they have a better squad, but Champions League, don't underestimate it. How big of a
We've got Europa Cup as well.
burden it is. Yeah,
We've
but
got Europe.
Champions. Yeah, but we are going to be playing like I don't know.
Yeah, but Michael,
fucking
Thursday-
We
Roma or
can't
something.
beat Genk. We can't beat Rennes. We can't beat these shit teams in Europe, bro.
Stelios, I can give you other examples when we've beaten big teams, right? So it's like
When we had Banyama, Dembele, Toby Alderweireld, Danny Rose.
okay, but we are not going to be playing
we've got
against Real
Johnson,
Madrid and
Chicken
Bayern
Royale,
Munich, right?
Timo
Wait.
Turbo, Pigeon Man. up
Stelios,
front.
let me finish. I'm saying I'm not sure about Villa. I didn't say that they aren't going to finish above us, right?
I'm just saying your reason of
And
champion.
with United and Chelsea, I'm not convinced yet. I
Chelsea
need to
have
see
Europe.
them play.
Wait.
Chelsea have Europe and
Yeah.
United have Europe, right?
Yeah.
So don't underestimate it, right?
They're going to play the kids, man. Chelsea.
I think we are going to finish fifth, in my opinion, fifth or
I
sixth.
agree with
That's my. But I'm seeing people saying that we are going to finish like eighth or ninth, which is absolutely bonkers because I don't see 8 better teams than us. And I know, listen, I know many people don't rate the manager, don't rate the midfield, don't rate the attack, right? But I think we are still better than
guys.
like
The reason,
a couple of teams,
the
right?
reason, the reason why Michael is completely right about Aston Villa is I've always told you this, and I warned you this, like I did in January. The Unai Emery effect, which is as follows: the moment when the underdog tag is removed from his team, and there's expectations, he's shit. I warn you. I'm telling you right now. Villa, he will not manage. He has never managed Europe and league very well. Last season, he almost choked. Let's be honest. If Spurs weren't as shit in the last 7 games, you would have gotten top 4. He literally almost, I think he had like a 10 or 12 point lead ahead of 5th place, and he almost fucked it up in typical Emery fashion because he prioritized the cup like he always does. And that's what's going to happen. He can't prioritize the Champions League.
Okay.
But he will.
Stefan, your same logic. Wait, your same logic now. Spurs fucked up at the end of the season. That was on Ange and his tactics and his stubbornness, okay?
I agree.
What's he proven in this league? Nothing. So just as you want to slam Unai Emery a bit, our manager hasn't proven anything either. So just because Unai Emery might have a stinker, Ange did have a stinker the last 10 games. We were the worst team those last 10 games in the top 10. We were shocking. So there's nothing that says to me Ange has proven anything yet to say that he's not going to be an Unai Emery.
No, I'm telling you, look, these tactics.
I hope he's not. I want Spurs to do well.
No. These kamikaze attacking football tactics that he does, I'm really like Europa League. People kind of downplay the group stages. There's some good teams in there, and when you go away to fucking Serbia or to places like that or Poland, they have some good players that they're gonna.
We have teams in the
No, forget that. But they're gonna play tough. They're gonna run. They're gonna kick you, and playing this type of intensive football, this high line, the players will not be able to cope. Madison, I guarantee you will play like this, he will get injured in the first month and a half. Wayne, I mean,
Madison's overhyped.
Yeah, it wasn't only me that told you. I remember Wayne saying he's done this for 5 years. I remember in the car, he starts really hot, looks like a great player, gets injured, and then for the whole season after he comes back from the layoff, he's shit. And literally last season, that is exactly what happened. It's like Wayne had like a fucking oracle and like predicted exactly how it happened.
Yeah, he's been watching him for 5 years, right? But, by the way, that's why the thing with Madison especially, that's why I don't think it will happen because it's Spurs, right? But I would literally jizz myself if we brought him as because I think he suits 2 roles that we desperately need someone to challenge the main players for, which is left wing and center attacking mid. I really want this guy in the team, but I don't think we'll do that just because we are Spurs, right? I'm not saying he's the perfect player, right? I'm not saying he's like creme de la creme, top of the top. But I think he really suits that team. I think
you need to blow your budget on a number 6, Michal. If you're gonna play the system,
like 6, 10, and the striker. Those are the
no. For me, the
priorities
6 for this system, where literally Van de Ven, if he plays this system with 2 inverted fullbacks away in Europe, by 3 months, Van de Ven will have no hamstrings. Like literally, he will have no hamstrings. They will all get injured. If you look at his record at Celtic, his European record is horrendous. People will say, "Oh, he was in the Champions League." No, look at his record against some of the teams they play. Shakhtar Donetsk, Genk. He got his ass kicked because he played these tactics away from home in Europe. Arsenal learned this the hard way last year. Bayern Munich came to Arsenal and played like Stoke and beat us.
Yeah. And shit has 2-2 or something like that, right?
Yeah. So like in Europe, you cannot play like this. I'm really intrigued to see whether he will adapt. Stell, I'm intrigued but Stell, I think, will be correct, because from what I read, he hasn't hired a set piece coach, which I'm sorry. I don't know how you, Arsenal, the first year when we finished 8th under Arteta, his first full season, we were poor on set pieces. Arsenal had hired a new set piece coach before that season. They fired him, hired a new one.
Yeah.
He hasn't
you got
hired
the Brentford set piece coach.
Yeah.
Right?
The Brentford guy. Yeah. We basically stole half of their staff, the goalkeeping coach, but yeah, that's true. I need to send that money. That's true.
But just quickly, call shot. I know we have to wait. I just meant that Maddison is the more offensive 8. So just for any ease of thought, I call him a 10. Right? I know it's not necessarily a 10, although saying like 10, 8, whatever, he's attacking mid. Let's call it that, right? And I think Eze can fit that role, because I've seen some,
Eze can also. I honestly think the reason why Man City and stuff, and maybe teams aren't willing to pay that money, I honestly think Eze is great on the ball, but off the ball, I really don't think he's good. I think he's not that good of I think his positional sense is quite poor. So if you have 2 players, and not only that, when you play with what Stell described Grealish is more of a free roamer. Yeah. The system and the structure of a team weakens as a result, because he roams around. So he leaves. So let's say there's a mistake. There's a massive amount of space where he leaves. So if you play 2 of those players, Eze and Maddison, that are roaming around, that leave space, I think it's going to put even more pressure on the number 6 and on the defense.
But that's why personally I wouldn't play them both in the team, right? Unless, I mean, both in the midfield. If they were to play together on like in the starting 11, I would put Eze on the left in that case, right? Because I think then, like, I think our midfield would be much too weak if we had both Eze and Maddison, right? Because they are both not that physical. They don't press that much, and as you said, they are free roamers. They are like we need someone to cover the ground for them, right? It's basically similar to like KDB, for example. KDB just runs all around the place, right?
Mahal, why are you selling? Like, I don't rate him that high.
Saying Højbjerg, I think he just wants to leave.
I get it, but tell him to fuck off. Just say no. We don't want to sell you. You need to sell Bissouma instead.
Listen, I would sell Bissouma. He hasn't left yet, right? He hasn't left yet, so maybe.
In my opinion, Højbjerg, he can do a far better job at the number 6 than Bissouma. Yes, he's not Tony Cruz on the ball, but Højbjerg at least does his job. He defends, he tackles. Every single game he's there.
Stefan, listen, bro. Højbjerg, listen. The issue we've got is the way we play. The 6 has to drop into the box, receive, and either on the half turn beat the man pressing, or play it across the goal to the wing back, and that's how we begin to get out the press. Højbjerg in that situation is a fucking disaster, and so is Skip. The only one that can play in that role that can do it is Bentancur and Bissouma. The problem is,
can't do that though.
Hear me out. Yes, he can. I've seen it. They can do it. The problem is when they then move to the edge of the box and have to protect the defense. Højbjerg's better. So the problem we've got is we need someone that can defend the back 2, but can play on the ball in the box under pressure, calmly, and not lose possession. This is where Højbjerg gets unstuck. But Højbjerg as a defender is better than Basuma. So
Yeah,
both of them
agree with that.
work for the system. This is the problem we've got. We
No,
don't
but,
have
the problem is
you
that
know what we need, bro. Do you know what we need at Spurs? And we're not going to get it.
Paulinho, João Paulinho. I would have signed João.
Well, he's gone to Bayern Munich. Zubimendi.
But we
We're
aren't getting him because we are
We aren't getting
Spurs,
him
right? So
Guys,
Perfect.
relax about Zubimendi. He had one good game in internationals. It doesn't mean he's
bro,
like
we would all season for Real Sociedad. For Real Sociedad,
Sociedad is my team in Spain. I love watching them, and
Zubimendi.
I think
but wait. Speaking of that, if we're gonna react to that, I watched both games against PSG. He was not good. Marino was far better than him. Marino was far better than.
I'll take either one.
we aren't getting both of them
Hold
either.
on. I'm not saying Zubimendi is the GOAT. Far from it.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is that type of player is
I get it.
better. It's far better for our system than anything we've got.
And if we were serious, right?
I think
Zubimendi.
they're going to try and make Archie Gray do it. By the way, I think
If
they're
we
gonna
were
try and make Archie Gray do it.
We're serious,
He's
right?
not gonna play number 6.
He's not all right. Price of Barella, but slaps.
Oh, I love Barella, man. I love Barella.
Barella's a good player.
60 to 65
I love
mil
Barella.
on this guy and have this guy for 5 years. As you see,
Although I don't think Barella is a 6.
Yeah,
I don't think he would do.
He's a number 8. He's a pure number 8.
But I'm just saying, like, in regards to that's out there, right? I'm talking about in regards to if we were a serious club, we would say, all right, Real Sociedad, you're Real Sociedad. Premier League club, you know, we had an improvement. Here you go, 65 mil, Real Sociedad. Give us Zubimendi. Or at least or Mourinho. Which Arsenal's
Why do we have to wait? Why do we have to go outside the Premier League? I'm looking at some of the Premier League players. I'll give you a good defensive midfielder that I really like. That's silky on the ball and can defend and can tackle. João Gomez from Wolves. Very good player.
I'll take him. I'll take him. No problem. I'll take him.
Very good. There's plenty of another super underrated player. Maybe he's not good enough on the ball, but I love watching him play. The Brentford defensive midfielder is a Norgard. Very good player. Very good player. Always wins the ball. Is a good solid
much
player.
About him to talk. I can't remember.
But there's plenty of Wayne said it, and Ndidi's not very good on the ball, so I don't think he suits you. But there are still players in the Premier League that
Ndidi's not bad on the ball, Stefan. Ndidi's not bad.
He's not. His passing is awful.
That won't work. That's different.
Yeah,
okay,
his passing is shit. Wayne will confirm it to you. I remember Ndidi because Arsenal were linked with him.
He went to Bayern, right?
Years ago. Huh?
Yeah,
For me,
the
the player that I think is perfect for our system, right? For me, the player that I think is perfect for our system, because I don't think Ange actually plays with a 6 as such. But for that role, I just call it the 6 because that's kind of where they hang around. For me, the perfect player that I've seen, and I would fucking literally, I would be like Michael using words like wankfest and all that stuff. If we signed Manu Kone from Mönchengladbach, for me, that is the exact player that changes the game for Spurs in that middle. But again, I know we're not going to get him. I know we're going to end up playing Jack. Do you know what? I know we're going to end up doing Archie Gray in that role. Spurs aren't buying a 6.
You're not playing an 18-year-old in the number 6 role. Come on.
Dude. We spent 40 million on him, Stefan.
Yeah. Okay. He's going to play right back at times. He's probably going to play number 6 in Europe, maybe against like a
He's not going to play right back. We've got Porro. He's not going to play right back.
Yeah, but Porro isn't going to play every single game stuff. There.
Yeah.
Wayne
you don't spend 40 million pounds to sometimes get a bit of game. I'm sorry. This is what they said about Timo Werner. Oh, he's come as a backup. Bullshit. He's going to play games. He's going to play a lot of games, man. He's the second highest paid player.
I just thought of a number 6, but he's from the Dutch league, so he's only going to go to Man United. But the Dutch midfielder Schouten, he was quite good.
Actually, the Feyenoord guy, Wiefer or something like that.
He's going to Brighton.
Yeah, he's going to Brighton.
He's going to Brighton.
Actually, I want to say, like, the 6 market, finding a right profile, I think
it's so difficult.
That easily. Oh, okay. I actually think that. Sorry.
No.
What I meant is, I think there is a shitloads of options. You just need to find the right one for your team.
No,
Because
but here's the issue. Those options that you say are he's either an amazing defensive number 6, like a João Paulinho, a monster.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, João Paulinho
On the ball is
is just good. He's not good enough for Arsenal or Man City, and that's why I think Arsenal. I would have loved for them to go. You guys know how much I rate him. Or then you have a player like Zubimendi, who's super tidy on the ball, and you can see how technical he is. But I think defensively might struggle with the physicality of the. I don't think he's fit.
What about the use of Fofana
in order
from
for,
Monaco?
Yeah, but that's the point. But that's the point that Stel's trying to make. And you guys, it's so difficult because the player that you're looking for a number 6, pretty much the only players that can play that position and that are good at literally what you said, defensively and getting out the press. Maybe Rodri isn't very good at getting out the press. He's more of a conductor. If you pass the ball to him with his back to goal, you're never going to see Rodri shimmy somebody and run with the ball. That's not his style.
Our players don't need to do that. The way we pat the press, we don't need to do that. They've just got to be.
I was going to get to Rodri, but there's two things.
The second touch when they pass, or one touch. The problem is Højbjerg and Skip sometimes under pressure in the box they choke.
But Bissouma's the same stuff. Bissouma's the same. He's not that good.
Ball in the box. Bissouma only loses the ball, like his passing is 99%. This guy. Bissouma's problem is when he tries to dribble, he doesn't know when to fucking release and pass, and he gets caught. Like you saw last season against Man City, he's out of the box.
Yeah.
No.
Play it wide. He beats a man. Play it wide. No, he tries to beat another one. They get us, and they score.
I'll tell you what happened. I said this. I agree with you about Bissouma. But what happened was that they sussed you out. After the 10 games, they watched film and they said everything starts from Bissouma doing that shimmy trick and going to the right or going to the left. So what they did was, if you watch the actual gameplay, was they would put 2 guys on Bissouma, so both lanes were completely blocked. So if he tried, like you said, would either lose the ball, or he would pass the ball to the right back or to the left back, where there was no space, and they would win the ball back.
Bro, when we play out from the back, when the goalie sends it to the player that drops in to receive, which is either the centre back or the 6, that player has 2 options: either then pass it across, or if you're marked, back to the goalie, and those 2 players that have come frees up a player, and then you play out. All right, I've been at Hotspur Way. I've watched Simon Davies, the academy director, show me how they beat the press in several ways. I've got all this. If I still got the slides,
yeah, you did the slides.
If you guys sign
I haven't got it here.
I'm reading Gallagher again. He is fucking. I've got a great nickname for him.
I don't have it.
I'm gonna trademark it.
But Bissouma can do it. He can. Like I said, his issue is defensively he gets caught.
No, he's soft. I told you this. Mentality.
It's quite too high up the field.
Yeah,
The counter attacks.
but
I think that's partly because of Ange, and he over dribbles. Bissouma over dribbles, man. That's my issue.
No. It's not
But
because
at Brighton, Bissouma never played as a 6. Not the way.
Yes, because but at Brighton they had a system where they put him in that position, and they allowed him to showcase his strengths, and they hid his weaknesses, which were his positional and his defensive play. Because Bissouma at Brighton, I forgot, he played with the guy that got the heart issue and retired. I forgot his name. He was from Kenya.
Mwepu, yeah, something like this.
He combined him because Mwepu was extremely good off the ball. He combined him with that type of player in order for him to kind of express himself. The problem with Bissouma you have with all your midfielders is none of them are specialty midfielders. If you look at Arsenal, for example, or Man City, or even Liverpool, I would say Liverpool's midfield is also quite shit. I'm going to be honest here. You guys know what I think of Szoboszlai. Yeah, you guys know that. But he did really well in the Euros, by the way. He scored 3 points if it was rugby. But yeah, he was shit. Yeah, but
he was actually good. good before he came to
How was he
Liverpool.
good? How was he good?
No,
Still?
no,
What was
he said before he came to Liverpool.
before he came to okay.
Yeah,
Maybe,
he was good. His attacking metrics were really, really good before he came to Liverpool.
You know who we should sign? We should sign the oh Jesus, what was the guy's name?
Bro,
Because like your Timber, right? The Timber that you have, he has a sibling playing for Feyenoord, if I remember, and he is the center defensive mid.
Oh, Timber. Oh,
Yeah, we should sign him
Quinton.
to make the sibling brothers, the sibling war.
No, he's
Imagine.
he's being linked to Milan. He's being linked to some big clubs. Like they're expecting him soon to kind of move to a big time European club.
By the way,
going back to you have no specialty midfielders. If you look at your midfielders, Bissouma, he's not good enough to be a 6, but in my opinion, he's also not good enough to be a number 8 because he doesn't create chances, nor does he score goals enough, Bissouma. So, and then you have Bentancur, which, in my opinion, Bentancur, I'm not sure what he is. Like, is he a number 8?
He has been the same. He has not been the same.
In terms of, like, you're not sure. That Skip is just shit. Højbjerg, for me, is just a number 6 in terms of, but he's an old school number 6 where you got to just put him in a system where he's just going to defend and win the ball. Yeah. No, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how you can say Skip is, any, like, am I being harsh?
Stefan, for me, Skip and Harry Winks, I think, have both suffered from the same thing. They were good academy players, but as soon as they got a chance in the first team, they weren't played in their best position, and we tried to shoehorn them into other positions. And what's happened is it's not worked for them. But at the same time, they've both had to work under too many managers in a short space of time. The players like Saka, Foden, the good thing about them is they've worked under one manager that's gotten to know them and slowly developed them. It's no coincidence our youngsters or the younger players improved under Poch because he was there for 5 years with them. At Spurs, 1 minute it's Conte, then it's Nuno, then it's Stellini, then it's Mason. We've ruined the young players at Spurs by doing this. And every manager's got a different favourite, a different play he wants to play, different system. There's a reason why the Spurs youth haven't done well. And I think a lot of it, partly the academy needed restructuring, which they've now done. Simon Davies is actually a very good academy director. I'm telling you, we've got a really good director there. But the biggest problem for me is we've played them in the wrong position and too many managers. I think if Ange stays 3-4 years, I do think at least 2 or 3 of the current young players will break into the first team and do well. I do think that. But again, big ifs, it's all hope, it's all dreams.
The issue with that is if you're a coach going into Spurs and you see that the average career span of a Spurs coach since Levy took over his run, I think it was a year and 7 months, I think, or a year
18
and 8 months.
It's 18 months, yeah.
Only because Poch fucking
only because of and if you see that
4 years
if you see that, are you gonna say, you know what, Emerson Royale is shit, I'm gonna play Alfie Dorrington? You're not. You're just not. You're not gonna risk it because of the fact, like Wenger. But wait. Wenger had a really good saying about young players. He's like, I'll play that young player. I know he's going to cost me probably a game or 2, maybe some points. But I know that in the long run, in 3 or 4 years, that player is going to win me more points in the long run than he's going to cost me in the short run. The problem with Spurs is that all you do is short run. And the coaches see that. So why would they do that? Why would they play on Dorrington or a Mikey Moore or any of the actual youth players that are there? They wouldn't. I wouldn't if I was the coach.
Daniel Levy. I said this the last show that came up before. We can say all that you want, or we got our club back. It's not we got our club back. Jose Mourinho said it. Mr. Levy Club. For the last 24 years, this has been Mr. Levy's club. You look at what we're doing this summer. It looks like Levy, smells like Levy, it is. The buck stops with him. Look at this latest rumor. Or we're going for a cut price deal for Gorky's. Daniel Levy is smelling that because this is how our club is run, right? We don't know if we're going to play the youth. We don't know about our starting 11. It all goes back to Daniel Levy. Now, I know people get sick and tired of saying it, but he has his technicals around this club. Plain and simple. It's the truth.
No, he does, but the issue is that it's just Ange, and from what Stell's intel, because Stell knows the youth academy coaches, they have said the players are not good enough. They're not ready. Haven't they said that, Stell?
They've said to me that next season, the only one we should expect to play week in, week out. This is before we signed Archie Gray. So I don't know if Archie Gray now comes into this, but they said to me,
40 million he does. For 40 million he does.
Yeah, I fucking should hope he does, right, for that money.
Yeah, 40 million.
They said to me, Bergvall is the only one we should expect to see. And Mikey Moore is one they really, really want to push through in the next few years. But right now, I don't think it's quite. He's just that little bit too young. You know, he's still 17. The point Mikey Moore is you can't loan him out until he's 18, so he's going to be stuck at the club. So I don't know what they're going to do. The good thing at Spurs though is they play a lot of the under 18s in the under 21s, so they push them that way.
Yeah, like a couple of players did that, right? Alfie Devine was playing for under 21s before he got loaned down to and other stuff.
They do that a lot.
No, Arsenal had that issue, but the most important thing for most of these youth players to develop is their loans. And what Arsenal did really well 2 or 3 years ago.
Only if they get the game time, Stefan.
Yeah,
but
Arsenal. But what Arsenal did was they hired they put a position, a loans manager, in which when any team would come into Arsenal wanting to loan out whoever, Nwaneri or whatever, they have to do a PowerPoint presentation linking that to the player's development and how they're going to play him, what system, how this, and that guaranteed in terms of it created a much more easy pathway than just loaning him out. Oh, let's just loan him out to a championship club. Let's not look like Arsenal did that 10 years ago. And the main reason why Gnabry left Arsenal was because Wenger loaned Gnabry to get game time under Tony Pulis at West Brom. And Tony Pulis literally midway through the loan period said Serge Gnabry wasn't good enough. So just an example of how a shit loan can literally derail a person's, a player's development for, Gnabry.
By the way, speaking of that, Dane Scarlett, the loans that he's had were absolutely dogshit. I'm not saying the guy has like enough talent to play for us or whatever, right? But the amount of game time he's actually not been getting in the teams that he's been loaned to, it's absolutely tragic. Like I don't know why we've been sending him to those type of teams, right? The only one I can excuse is Ipswich, kinda, because he was loaned to Ipswich at the beginning of the last season, right? But nobody expected Ipswich to do as well as they did, so they kind of couldn't play him because they were fighting for the promotion, right? But other than that, his previous loans were not good. He wasn't getting much game time, right? At least with Alfie Devine and Phillips, when they were loaned to Plymouth, I'm not saying they did great, but they got a lot of game time, right? So at least that. At least they are getting minutes, right?
But Michael, how can you as a young player, right, as a youth player, think, okay, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna get a chance, and you see Spurs signing Archie Gray for 40 million, Bergvall for how do you say it was 10 million?
This is what I said. This is exactly what I said.
How can you and then everybody will, every coach is gonna say the typical, politically correct PR bullshit of every player, nobody looks at transfer fees, we look at the trainings. That's bullshit. You really think Ange won't feel, okay, listen, I signed Archie Gray for 40 million, fuck it, I'm gonna play Alfie Dorrington at right back instead? No chance. Alfie Dorrington has to absolutely shit on him in training for him to play.
I say to players that I get into Spurs, I say to them, stay as long as you can, as long as they want to keep you. Get as many years development for free, the end of the day, it's a Premier League development program. And then at 16, if it doesn't look like you're going to get a proper career at Spurs, you've got 5-6 years on your CV at Spurs. Go to another club. Go to a lower league where they're going to say, "Yeah, we'll take a Spurs academy player, or we'll take an Arsenal academy player," because you're going to improve them. Because the Premier League academies are far better than the lower leagues. Go there and get a career in the sport. Go and get a career in the sport.
No, you're completely right, because if you look at,
I tell players to do that, but they get hooked. But they get hooked by the bright lights of the Premier League. It's like, no, I'll stay here. I'll stay here. I'm like, okay, but if you don't get a career, you know what? There's going to be another kid at 16 that goes to a low league club, like what Dele Alli did, or like what other young players do.
Harry Kane.
And what's going to happen is they're going to have 3 years, 4 years of adult football under their belt. You haven't done that, and you know what? They're going to go ahead of you, or go abroad. The best thing an English kid could do: go to Italy, go to Spain. Even if it's the
I wouldn't say you missed that, but just go play adult men's football, even if you're really young, because that will teach you toughness. That will teach you other aspects that playing in the under 21, the perfect training ground and the perfect pitches with only your parents watching you. There's no pressure of relegation or anything like that. Yeah, it's soft. It creates softness. Just that whole whole environment.
Well, you look at your ball, right? Because people look at his Euros, but he had the wonderful opportunity to play a La Liga season of ups and downs, to the point that when it came time for the Euros, okay, he's ready to rock. Well, I mean, yes, he's an extraordinary talent, but just the experience for him and Kubabaski, their center back, to play a whole season against Real Madrid, the Champions League. That experience helped them for the Euros.
Yeah, but Mari,
I'll be honest with you.
Barcelona.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. If you're 16, 17, and you are performing at that level, that
it's a
Rooney did
generation.
it. That is what you call generational, okay?
Generational, yeah.
He's been given the gift, man. He's been given the gift.
I agree.
With something.
Not to have the reason there are pictures of Messi holding him when he was a kid. Right? That isn't touched by God,
Bro,
just,
no, but only that. If you look at, we don't need player to be generated, but you look at some of the players, like for example, 2 players that I can pick out. Emil Smith-Rowe, before his big season with Arsenal, and sadly his career is gone down because of injuries, but the season.
Good.
The season before he had the breakthrough with Arsenal, he went on loan to Huddersfield and had a really good loan there, and that kickstarted him playing. I know you have to have talent. I agree with Michael, but that kickstarted him and gave him the confidence that yes, I can play men's football. I can, the Championship physically. A lot of people say physically is tougher than the Premier League, so you have to physically prove yourself.
And he got abroad, Stefan, as well.
Yeah, of course, you can go abroad. But if I want him
he was specifically about Smith-Rowe.
No, he went abroad.
He
went to Leipzig, but he barely played because he was injured for most of that loan. But it was the Huddersfield loan that set him on, that he played better.
Paul Mitchell signed him. I remember, that's it.
Yeah. Paul, he wanted him. Yeah, everywhere he went, Paul Mitchell wanted him.
Paul Mitchell, Newcastle was going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah.
Bro, he's a
good and you know what? Did you know why he's gonna? Because if you look at the profile, of players that Paul Mitchell recruits and that he recruited at Spurs, it's literally Newcastle on steroids. Because that's if you look at the physical running, like a Joe Linton, a Bruno Guimaraes, like Anthony Gordon, really physical, fast counter-attacking players that get in your face. That's if you look at the Spurs players that they recruited back in the day, the Dele Allis, Wanyamas, they were all physically really, really athletic. The Kyle Walker, even
I did 2 Newcastle pods last week. They asked me to go on to talk about Paul Mitchell, and I said to them both, if you get rid of Eddie Howe, or he leaves to go England job, whatever,
he's gonna hire Poch.
I said Poch and Mitchell, they did it at Southampton. They were great at Spurs. Honestly, it's just the combo that works, man. Like,
but let's see still, because let's be honest, since he left Spurs,
Eddie Howe. I don't think they'll sack Eddie Howe.
No, in terms of Paul Mitchell, let's see, because since he's left Spurs, his career hasn't gone to the same heights. He didn't do that well. He didn't do that well in Leipzig. He didn't do that.
Really?
He hired. Sorry, he did.
A lot of his players that he hired at Leipzig have now gone on to bigger clubs.
Yeah, some of them, but he also made some pretty fuck up signings, and he also, the most important thing that he did was he also hired the wrong coach. Remember? So
Paul Mitchell shouldn't be in charge of hiring coaches. He should just do the
but he was the sporting director, so he's the main guy that interviews coaches. And
for me, I wouldn't make him a sporting director. I'd make him like head scout or chief.
Yeah, and then from what I read, his stay at Monaco, he made a couple of big transfer flops, including Balogun. I think, was he the one that signed Balogun?
Balogun's a good player, man. I rate Balogun.
Balogun had a poor season still. Balogun he scored like, I think, 4 goals.
Is that Mitchell's fault or Balogun's?
Well, Mitchell was the one that said, let's pay 30 million for him. And Balogun scores only 4 goals.
I watched some of youth games. I thought Balogun was a really good player.
Balogun was super talented, but this is what I mean between you watched him it's the same Arsenal fans. I told you I hate my fucking fan base though. Now the fan base is
we love ours. We love our one.
Yeah, no, but the fan base was up in arms at the fact that we let a Mario Cozier-Dewberry go because he played really well for the under-21s, has no adult football experience, but supposedly he's the next Saka. Okay. How the fuck do you know that? Like, it's so difficult. It's such a difficult, like, it's just, let's see. I'm intrigued. I think we should do the preseason predictions at the end of the transfer window, even though the season has already started. I know you guys are negative on Spurs. But let's see. Maybe.
Hold on. We're not negative. We're honest.
You're realistic. Realistic. Sorry. Realistic. Sorry.
Yeah. By the way, guys, just to lighten the mood, can I show you like? You have to see this.
Okay.
Because if you remember, like 1 or 2 weeks ago, I was absolutely ranting about our kids. I absolutely hate the fact that our kids are so boring, right? And today I've seen kids of a third-tier Italian team. And I kid you not, I have to show you them. If you could just allow me to share the screen.
It's not anything copyrighted. Cool.
No. This kid. Fucking. Can you imagine if Nike, Puma, or Adidas did something like this? Such a beautiful kid. It's inspired by Odyssey. It's full of history when you look at it, right? It's absolutely a gorgeous kid. And I look at our kids from like Spurs, right? And
what are you talking about? This is
boring.
Like Versace catwalk. This is
This is
such a beautiful kid. This is such a beautiful kid. I don't know, guys. I love it.
Guys, for me, the best.
I'm not saying we should be doing like just this much, right? But our kids are so boring. Like
but they have to be. Michael, you cannot have a different kid other than white.
I'm not saying to change the colors. I'm saying to just give it a bit of personality. Those kids are so boring.
The Spurs kit designers are lazy, man. We've got lazy.
Yeah, it's just lazy design. And
I don't know. I actually remember the most outlandish one, the most kind of out there was the Under Armour one with it was similar to this, right? It was with was it with like a line across, like a stripe?
Yeah, they call it. It's called the Victory Sash. That's what they call it.
Yeah. It was. I didn't think it looked good. It was a bit. It was like okay, maybe. But
me, the best.
I get it. It's different.
Before we went to any of the big companies, when we had small companies like Umbro, Hummel, these unknown, they were the best kits for Spurs. They kept it simple, a little bit of a design, and they were iconic.
Pony.
That's fine. Like
know what? We couldn't banter ourselves anymore if we tried. Who in the world? Let's get Poland to make the kits. That's gonna go, isn't it?
Isn't pony like a slang
Jesus
term?
Christ. Like chat is ruining me. I'm sorry, guys. I just think this kid at least has
Yeah,
personality compared to our kids, right?
Guys, speaking of kits, the best ever kit, and I have it in my possession, is the Nigeria 2018 World Cup kit. That is the best fucking kit ever.
Earlier on in the show, when I was arguing with.
Wait, that looks similar to what I just showed you, and everyone rinsed me. Like,
No, it's really nice. Your kit is really nice. I like it too.
Yeah, I love it too. But it's also like a lot of
Connor and Murray were saying to me that the new Arsenal kit, the black with the green and all that.
I love it. I fucking love it.
I think it's disgusting. I think it's budget and shit. Right? They said to me, "Oh, but it's African inspired," and I said, "The best African kit was the Nigeria World Cup
2018."
I said,
or beat the Ajax. Does it beat the Bob Marley Ajax jersey?
Oh, the Jamaica one, the Jamaica kit. Oh yes, Mario.
I actually have that. Because no, that kit is too nice.
Another
when I go to Jamaica, or I actually got the Ajax Bob Marley jersey.
Speaking of Spurs kits, I love the one you have, Stelios. I think I've seen you wear it a couple of times. It's the navy blue one with the logo of Spurs in a shield. I think you have it.
Yeah, that was the
it's
first
2018.
First season we got Nike. The first season we had Nike. It was the away. Yeah, beautiful.
No,
the worst. It's beautiful.
The worst kit ever for Spurs that I've seen.
The last time I bought it.
No, you've had some shit ones, but the worst one ever was two that I have seen. They were both third kits.
The scuba
one was the scuba, the one that looked like a scuba diving kit. That was horrendous.
It was fucking tragic.
Yeah, and then there was the one that they tried to make it retro, but it looked like shit. The yellow one where the badge was in the middle. It was awful.
Oh, yeah, with the banana shades.
Yeah. You know, I absolutely hate our kids from this season. Like the first team ones. First kit is okay, but second and third kit, miss me with that shit. Like
the second kit looks like a prison uniform. And
I had a worse comparison, but I don't know if I can say it.
Oh, like the
what is it?
Can I say it?
Is it the no, don't say it. I know what you're gonna say. No, don't say that. Don't say that. No,
but
too far.
Not exactly what you're gonna say.
No, if you guys want to see, in my opinion, the shittest kits that I've ever seen.
The kids say
Pause.
But guys, if anybody wants to have a laugh in the chat and tell me if I'm wrong, the shittest kits that I've ever seen from a team in Europe was by far Liverpool's Warrior kits. Oh my! It was like some child with a crayon fucking made them. It was horrendous. Right, Liverpool Warrior kit. Just write them. Write their away kit or their third kit.
A long time ago.
Like black,
Warrior, like Warrior, like
black with red. Black with red.
Yes, it's horrendous. It's horrendous.
Let me tell you, when Man United, when the beginning of the Premier League, Man United had Umbro, and they had this grey kit. It was the most horrendous kit in the history of football. And when they went away to Southampton, they lost.
I can't see Mari.
We can see.
Purple.
Bring it closer. Just write Liverpool Warrior away kit. Yeah, this one. Just look at look at all of their kits. They're horrendous. They're fucking horrendous.
Yeah. 1 minute. I'm gonna show you.
It's not good.
But speaking of nice kits, and I think that this is probably one of my. I know it will sound mad, but this is probably one of my favorite Arsenal kits. Is the one where
Banana kit.
I think it's like 2002, 2003. I think where it wasn't like red, like it's usually red. It was like
maroon,
burgundy or something. It was.
Oh no, like
that was red.
Yeah, that was our last season at Highbury. So it was it was a tribute to our first first kits at Arsenal from historically were maroon. They weren't red, Nahal. So you're thinking about
okay.
right 2000 to 2006 the home kit,
Oh,
and,
it is
and you will
2006.
see it. 2006, and it's that one, right?
Yeah, exactly that one with the
Yeah.
O2 logo.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
I have
absolutely
one.
gorgeous for me.
This is the Bob Marley.
Yes, Marty, this
Yeah,
is
this is the
sick.
Bob Marley one. Yeah.
That's the Bob.
I would show you my Nigeria kit, but it's in the wash, sadly. So yeah,
Yeah.
fucking.
I
sick.
saw that. I
What a
said,
kit.
"Yo," I said, "The island. I'm an island boy." I said, "You know, I gotta get that." I said,
No,
I said,
it's sick.
"Not my
Some of the kit, but my favorite Arsenal kit, hands
nice.
down, has to be the banana kit, the yellow banana, right? Arsenal banana
Yeah, I know which
away one. It's sick. And another one was Puma. In one of their rare instances, they had a really good away kit in 2015. It was like a golden kind of. It was really good. It was really nice. But yeah, Puma was a shit show for Arsenal. Most of their kits were garbage.
Yeah. Nike, other than first or second season, like first maybe 2 seasons, Nike has been like I hate their designs. They are just soulless for me.
Not Spurs.
I just don't like soulless kits. I don't think they represent anything, right? And I'm not saying you have to put like fucking a layout of Tottenham area on the kit, right? I'm not saying like that, but just give it at least some personality. Because like the kit that you guys mentioned, I think it was 2015-16, the one with the victory scarf or however you called it, Stelios, right? At least it was different.
Sash.
At least the victory sash. At least it had something about it that was.
It was
unique,
different,
right?
It was different.
Yeah, I love the ones with the shield in the the logo with the shield, right? Because they are different. They at least they have something unique about them. And I know it's hard to do unique kits every single season, right? But
yeah,
and you know what I had the most about
Bro,
Nike?
I like the fat heart. Their badge was in the shape of a heart. I quite like that.
that was the 2016-17 Spurs kit, right? Yeah, that was recent, right?
What Richard said is true. Funny enough, the Ajax game, right? We had that. I hate the ugly green, bluish jersey that we had.
Oh, that was a nice kit.
I never liked it, but it's historic because that's the game of the miracle comeback, Champions League run. So it will always forever be in my memory. Funny enough, that jersey, that kit in Mexico, it was selling for like 20 pesos. They had I was like, oh snap! They have a Tottenham jersey.
Well, guys, let me speak because Stella always gets annoyed when politics gets. Can you imagine that politics are now involved with Arsenal's away kit? One like famous account, I'm not gonna name which one, said that Arsenal were secretly showing their support for Palestine by publishing this fucking kit. It's just some of the shit that they come up with, man.
Can I? Do you know what? There's a lot of fans that aren't Arsenal fans that actually think there's something in this because apparently Arsenal ran some kind of Twitter or ad previously linking them to the support, and they think they've done this.
No, stop.
The ins and outs
it doesn't.
I'm not saying
make sense to me. No, they've linked it. They've linked it to the African. No, they've literally said if you watch the video, they've linked it to the African Lynx colors, which are exactly that. So
I don't know. But let me show you another one. 1 minute. This is right. This was the man. I've got to tell you the story behind this kit, right? This was the kit, yeah.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Wait.
It looks like a Christmas sweater. It's awful.
This, when it got released, it was big news, right? I remember this. It was because I was young. It was big news, and they were saying how bad this is, how they're Man United, this is disgusting. What the fuck? They were going nuts. Okay. Anyway, they went to Southampton, and they were losing away to Southampton, and at half time they changed kits, and they changed kits, right? Wait. And Fergie blamed the halftime result on the kit. He goes, "We had to fucking change this shit."
No, that's actually brilliant management stuff. That's brilliant management.
Yeah, to be fair.
No, but speaking of shit kits, I just remembered a hilarious story from this season. I don't know if you guys remember. Villa were sponsored by Castor at the start of last season. But the kit was so shit and the owners were so unhappy that they canceled the whole deal with Castor prior to the start of the actual season. And then they signed a new deal with, I think, who's Villa's sponsor now? I forgot who Villa's sponsor is. I think it's Adidas. I'm not sure.
No,
Yeah.
no, I was just saying. I noticed it yesterday.
Maury, probably I have to go, guys. I have to go. Carry on.
Yeah, guys.
I'm
See you,
gonna
Steph.
Michael,
right now,
Maury, big
right
Yeah, guys.
on the
Nice seeing you.
on
people
the
in the chat.
But on the sleeve, there is a Pac-Man. The ghost is on the sleeve of the Tottenham jersey. If you noticed it yesterday, that it was sponsored by someone. It's some kind of, it's like a Pac-Man. The ghost is on the sleeve, and he mentioned that. And I looked at yesterday's game, and I was just like, "Yeah, you're right. The Pac-Man ghost is on the sleeve of Spurs jerseys yesterday."
No, if you want to see beautiful kits, because Michael's a fan of Italian teams. Michael, right? Venezia FC.
Oh yeah, the previous season of like 2 years ago.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a sick kit.
It was such a sick kit that they had so many orders that they actually had to stop the ordering on the site because they couldn't manage to
Drake just took
produce.
over. Drake just took over the licensing for their kits. Vienza FC.
Yeah, no, it's
report.
I hate them as a national team, but the Argentina kit I love. I really like their kit.
Yeah.
I'm a bit disheartened that nobody liked the kit that I showed, but
we like it. I said it's really nice. It's really nice.
Sorry, because like the chat didn't like it, Stelios didn't like. I kid you not. Like if you look closely at the fact that it has like the victory sash, with like the mythology scenes and all that stuff, it's absolutely like. I just really like the kids to be, as I said, to have a character, right? To show something, right?
I like character, but I also like creativity. Like my brother and me, we always like. My brother thinks Arsenal's away kit is horrendous because there's no heritage related. I disagree. I want the heritage to be in the home kit. I want the home kit to always be red and white. Like for example, this season, I really don't like that we have. Why the fuck do we have blue? It looks nice, don't get me wrong, but I don't want blue in my home kit. I just don't. So
I asked you about the Tottenham jersey when they have red. That's why I love the retro jersey, because it's blue and white. It's blue and white, no red.
Yeah, but the issue is the sponsor, right? It's not about the design of the shirt. It's the fact that sponsor doesn't agree to change.
No, Bryce's comment, the last one, sick kit. Sick fucking kid, if you guys remember it.
The White Owl Fire.
Sick kid, absolutely sick kitty. So look, if we're talking kits, Adidas are the best.
Yeah, Adidas slap it. Adidas slap it.
PSG did the white with the Eiffel Tower PSG. That was sick. I'm not gonna
Nike also have some nice kits, but I just remember the horrendous kit. Right? Man City traffic light kit. It's fucking hilarious. Right? Traffic kitter. Let me find it. It's from Puma and it was their away kit. Traffic. Let me see. Is it traffic light? No,
that was a nice one. The black one
wasn't the traffic. What was it? It was like, it looked like Mari, when there's like a crime scene and the FBI, there's the yellow tape.
Oh, the yellow tape.
Yeah, it looked like that yellow tape kit. Wait, the yellow tape kit. No.
That must have been ugly.
It was fucking shit. Oh, Man City also had, remember the gummy bear one?
Yeah, the gummy bear one? I'm trying to remember.
Wait, I don't know how to
yeah. I remember when they had this one. This one.
Oh,
no, not that one. I'm gonna find it,
guys. Too, by the way.
That one is hideous. That one is
actually
hideous.
One thing I have to say, that City's first team kits are actually quite nice, and I think it's also the fact that I like the color. I think that light
This-
blue that they have, I really enjoy it, right? And like, for example, when I'm speaking about the character, right? As far as I know, in this year's design, on the sleeves they have the postal code of Manchester area.
Man City 24, 25, third kid.
I'm trying to find it, guys.
Hideous. That's hideous.
Yeah,
Which
I don't know. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about with City, right? But they have the postal code of the City area, like the Manchester City area where the stadium is. It's like something like 061 something, or it's 0610 or something like that, right? They have it on the sleeves, and I think it just gives the kit a like character, right? It connects it with the area, with the city, with the team. It just, because like when I look at Spurs kits, right? If you took the Spurs logo out,
Here
and
it is,
substituted
guys.
with-
Here it is. I found it, Mari. I need to send
I'll
it to you. I don't know how to share it.
you can present that there is like a present button near the Leave Studio. You have to click
fuck.
this, and then Mari has to allow you to share.
I sent it to Mari. I
Oh,
sent it
yeah.
to Mari.
Okay.
Look, it's got like the fucking FBI tape on the top. It's awful. Looks like shit. Puma either have amazing kits or they have absolute, like if you write Arsenal Vomit third kit, they had this pure green vomit kit like from 2018, 2019 that was awful. Like it was so bad. Did you see it, Mari?
Yeah, I'm pressing the link.
Is it working?
Yeah, but it showed me what year was it? 1990, 20?
Right, Man City away kit 2019.
Man City away kid 2019. Yeah, that's what it comes up as. Oh, yeah. Let me click on it. Let me zoom in. This.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Gummy bear.
Mari, can you like allow me to share the screen?
Yeah.
And Bryce.
So this is this season City kit, right?
It's
And
nice.
look at the sleeve.
Nice.
Look at the sleeve. It has 0161, right? And it's the postal code for the city area, right? Where the stadium is. I'm talking about things like that, right? It gives it character. It gives it like it connects it with the team.
Yeah.
And when I look at our kids from like Spurs kids, right? They are just so soulless. I think if you just substituted the badge with some other team, it might as well be like a different team's kit, especially with Nike and the fact that they tend to reuse the designs, right? So they have like a shape on the shirt that they really like to reuse. So you will have a different team in a different league that will have like different colors, but the patterns will be the same, right? And this is why I really don't like.
No, I completely. But I think that's not down to the design. I think if you look at the way Levy handles the club, for some reason I don't understand why he's a businessman. If you start to introduce heritage to your club, like build a statue. Build a statue of Bill Nicholson, like Arsenal have statues all over their stadium of former great players. You know, build that infamous gate that I've heard about from Bill Nicholson from that photo. Just build.
The rumor is that they're going to put it, but it's going to be
the rumor. Mario, let's be honest. There's been a rumor now for 3 years that they're going to put up the clock.
They brought the clock back, right?
Did they?
Yeah, they did. It's kind of in front of the stadium,
like,
right? But
I honestly
it's too little. It's too little, right? And even like, listen, I know it's part of the banter thing, right, with us not winning trophies, but actually, like Tottenham has some trophies in the cabinet, right? And I think Arsenal has this where, like, between the stands or something, you have the like years where you won the trophies, right? So it's like 2004. The league and you know all the years that you won the league, and it's on the stadium, right?
Yeah.
And it just brings like history and context and you know and just personalizes the stadium. And plenty of people that I've been talking to, because I haven't been to our stadium yet, right? I will be going this upcoming season, right? But plenty of people already told me that it's really like it's kind of soulless if you just remove the badges and gave it another team's budgets. It's basically like
I just don't get it. Like, it would create so much more in terms of brand value if you add that to the not brand value per se, but the fan experience. I think, you know, for me, when I go to the Emirates Stadium, when I've been and I see a statue of Dennis Bergkamp or Thierry Henry or Wenger now. I actually haven't been since the Wenger statue was unveiled, but like it creates a better connection between you and the club, because it reminds you of, because I remember those times when we were such a good team and stuff. It reminds you of those times. And Levy, instead of trying to kind of, even, you know what, even if it's fake, even if it's PR bullshit, it's still better than having no connection and having absolutely nothing.
Real Madrid, right? New stadium, like Tottenham, is going to hold events. They still show. We got 15 Champions League. You will still see it. Though they host the NBA games, they're going to be hosting NFL game.
What NBA games? College football, you go into the stadium, you will see on the rafters 1981 national champs. Like you see not only do you see the national championship years, you also see the numbers and the players that are retired. The numbers for those great players. So it's like the only logical thing that I can think of, guys, as to why he hasn't done it is from a business perspective. Maybe the potential, you know, people that want to hold concerts or business events there, they don't want it to relate to football.
Yeah, that's legit what I think it is. I think he wants this stadium to be as neutral as it can get, right? So people coming in there don't feel like they are in a football stadium. They feel like they are in a venue, right, for concerts or whatever, right? I just feel sorry. No. I just feel that's how he approaches things, right?
And the final thing before I go, guys, I really have
I also have to go.
Because my girl Bryce, I don't know what you're saying, man. The US kids are fucking sick. I don't know which US kids is shit, man. Their US kids are usually top. Like, they're really good usually. I love the
team, but the kids.
The USA, huh?
Yeah, the team is a different thing, right?
The team. Forget the team. Like, Nigeria's kid is the best ever. The team wasn't very good. They didn't even win a AFCON. So, you know, they're not that good, but the kid is sick. But like, speaking of another iconic kid, I don't know if I can remember which year, final. Cameroon, I think it was 2006 World Cup, had the only kit to this day that I can remember, a sleeveless kit with a massive lion in the front. Fucking sick kid.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sick kid.
I remember saying that. Yeah, that one was sick.
They were sleeveless. They didn't have sleeves. It was like they were playing beach volleyball. It was sick. I
will say this: when I was in Peru, when I go to these countries, I like to see what teams that they have. In Peru, in the mall, I saw DVC City. I saw United. I saw Liverpool, Bayern, and I saw Arsenal in Peru.
In South America, in South America, it's easily Real Madrid, Barca. But I know in Africa,
definitely,
Africa, I know there's only two. When I speak to there's only two clubs:
Arsenal,
Man United, and Arsenal. There's no other. In Egypt,
Barcelona.
There might be some countries. There might be some countries where just because of a player, right? So like Egypt, because Salah, or like Kenya, or something like that, right?
I forgot the third team. That's also, but not as much as Man United or Arsenal. Chelsea, because Chelsea also had the Mourinho years. They had some amazing Michael Essien, Albi Mikel. They had some, but Arsenal started with Canu, with Kolo Toure, with all these players that played at Arsenal. So Africa, I'm surprised. I get why they don't travel during the summer for a preseason tour, but I really think if somebody goes to Africa, especially if you're Arsenal or Man United, like that's potentially like you could make so much money in terms of just the global event of it and stuff like that. People were saying, but probably the actual heat is is too much. So I don't know. But Egypt also, Michael is right. Egypt because of Liverpool, because of Salah, Liverpool.
But it's like single countries, right? The continent in general.
No, but for
mostly
Arsenal, it's not for Arsenal. The biggest Nigeria, Cameroon, all the like the typical African powers, barring Egypt, Arsenal and Man United.
I've never met a Nigerian who's not Arsenal or United.
Exactly. Yeah. Same. Where I grew up in Kuwait, we had a lot of Cameroonians and Nigerians. It was always you're either Arsenal or Man United, and you always have that. Oh, there was one Ghana guy. He was a big Chelsea fan, but he was a Chelsea fan because they had Michael Essien, who was his favorite player. So yeah, but it's always between these. I never heard one Nigerian say, "I'm a big Real Madrid fan."
No,
Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like with I think Thailand and India are really big on Liverpool, right?
Australia are number. I know Australia are number one for Liverpool. No team is even close there.
Yeah.
But in Thailand, Malaysia, Arsenal are actually number one.
Oh, I
China,
thought it's Liverpool.
yeah. China, from what I remember,
United.
is Man United. He's Man United and Real Madrid. If we're talking just Man United and Real Madrid.
Korea is now Tottenham. Korea.
Korea is Tottenham.
Of course, Korea is Spurs. Japan has a huge Arsenal following. I don't know why, but Japan has a massive Arsenal fan base. I actually met from university. I actually made a friend from Japan because he saw me wearing an Arsenal shirt, and he was like, "Yeah," and he told me, and I asked him in Japan. He's like, "Yeah, there's a massive following. It's between Arsenal and Man United." He told me.
Yeah.
But so there are some, but South America, I mean, then we go South America. It's not even like there's no. It's Real Madrid or Barca. Mari can tell me, is there more Barca fans or Real Madrid fans, Mari, in South America?
South America will always have Real Madrid on top of Barcelona.
It depends on the country,
and even Mexico too.
What about Mexico? Yeah, well, what's Mexico?
Mexico more united because of Chicharito.
Really?
Because
of
Chicharito. And remember, and then the greatest Mexican player played for Real Madrid. That's when Real Madrid's big in Mexico.
What was his name? Salas?
Striker. He scored 300 goals. I should know this.
I forgot his name.
He was a legend for Mexico, but he also played for Real Madrid. He was a legend in the 80s and early 90s. If someone can help me on the chat.
What was his fucking name?
I wasn't born then, so
yeah. He played for Real Madrid, so that's when Real Madrid is very popular.
Hugo Sanchez.
Hugo Sanchez, very popular. United is very popular. I saw a lot of United jerseys. Now I saw Tottenham on sale, maybe because of the newfound success. Arsenal was definitely there. I saw Chelsea, but
Arsenal should be there because we had a Mexican player for a period of time.
Yeah, and City. And I saw City because a couple of kids wear City. At that time, they won the treble. But yes, definitely Real Madrid, Barcelona.
What about
Costa Rica is interesting. Costa Rica is interesting.
It should be Arsenal here. We had the biggest Costa Rican player.
Yeah. Joe Campbell.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm talking to someone who knows him very well because for one of the clubs over there. She's a big soccer fan. I'm gonna try to get her on the channel. I'm gonna recruit her to be a Tottenham fan because she does have a Premier League club. But no. I've seen Arsenal, but when you tell the number one team over there, of course Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona, United
always. But I'm intrigued. What about the Hispanics, Mari, in the US?
Oh, that's easy. Barcelona, Real Madrid.
It's always the Spanish team.
Yeah, I'm in Florida. Real Madrid. My students, it's Real Madrid, Barcelona. I have Jamaicans. It's Arsenal.
Yeah.
The
Jamaica. I know Jamaicans. If they're from the Caribbean, if they're West Indian, It's Arsenal or Man United. Man United because of Dwight York.
Reggae Boys. Yeah, the Reggae Boys. Trinidad. The other guy came from Trinidad.
Is he an Arsenal fan?
For United player.
Yeah.
That what's his name? That was up front with what's his name? But here's the thing that I would say get Chelsea fans mad when I run into Americans here.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot more Tottenham fans than Chelsea.
Man, Chelsea is not in London. I know this. When I went
London, I think there's more.
London, it's easily. I would say Arsenal are number one by far. I don't think it's close. Like especially in my opinion, like London, the bars. Then second is Spurs, and then third is Chelsea. It's not even. And you can even argue that Crystal Palace, South London, Croydon, which is a massive area, there's a huge following of Palace fans. There's more Chelsea fans, of course, probably, but Chelsea really aren't that. I think the only country where they're the leading team, guys, where I've read that they have the most, I think it was like, because they have different, like indicators. Like some have the most searched team on Google, others have the most sold kits. I think the only country in the world where Chelsea was number one, like big country, was Russia, which is
the moment. Yeah.
So that's the only one. But Michael, what about Poland? I'm intrigued. Poland is a football mad country.
Yeah. So I would say it's basically in like the between 2000s and 2010s. I can tell you earlier because I was born in 97, right? So I don't remember that. My parents aren't exactly.
No, now, like when you talk to your friends, high school.
So in 2000 to 2010, it was mostly United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and AC Milan, actually. And then when Barcelona and Real Madrid started, in like 2000 and what was it, 2005 or 6, like real. Like when Ronaldo transferred to Real, it was 2008, 9.
2009, yeah.
Yeah, 2009. When they started, it was like the whole country pretty much shifted to Barcelona versus Real. But actually, since Lewandowski, Piszczek, and Błaszczykowski played for Borussia, there was like a shitload of Borussia fans. And then they switched to, like, not switched, I'm not saying the same guys switched, right? But then a lot of like Bayern fans came because of Lewandowski, right? Yeah, so it's like we kind of went from like England to Spain to Germany, and right now it's all over the place because we gained a lot of access to different leagues, right? Because usually in like between 2000 and 2010, it was really hard to watch football from abroad, especially the leagues, right? It was mostly like Champions Leagues, FA Cups.
What about in high school? What about in high school? Your friends, who did they support? Like
mostly Real and Barca.
Mostly Real. Okay.
Yeah. There were a lot of Premier League fans too, right? Yeah. Go on, Mario.
I forgot the Italian clubs because I was born in New York. Well, growing up.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of Italian.
Juventus, Juventus.
Italy. If you're in Italy, it's Juve. Everybody says they hate Juve, but Italy number one club in terms of fan support. It's not even close. It's Juve.
Juve and Milan. Inter, I cannot find Inter. And in Florida, there's a lot of Milan. And I don't run into fans that much. I even run into Napoli fans because you have a lot of Napoli pizzerias and stuff. You see Napoli.
Yeah, Napoli. I've also seen a few Napoli kids.
Also, by the way, quite a few Napoli fans in Poland because of Zieliński. So it's like for us when we don't have like many class players, right? People tend to gravitate towards those teams, right? And I think in like 2000s to 2010 we didn't really have that many. There was like a lot of Liverpool fans because of Jerzy Dudek, right? The keeper that won them the penalty, right?
Bayern I've seen in Peru, Mexico, and of course United States.
Yeah, but Mario, of course, Bayern are gonna have in Peru. Their best ever player played in Bayern. What was his name? Paulo Guerrero, right?
Yeah, Guerrero.
He played for Bayern, and then in Paraguay you had Roque Santa Cruz. So they had quite a few South American players. Claudio Pizarro also, was he Peruvian? I think he was. Yeah, he also played. So in where I grew up in the Middle East in Kuwait. It was easily in the Middle East, Real Madrid and Barca, easily by far. Then I would say a close third is AC Milan and Juventus. Italian teams in the Middle East, they love their Milan and Juventus, and I would say slightly Milan edge. And then after those teams, it's between Arsenal and Man United. The younger generation in the Middle East, when I was like the younger people, maybe there was some Chelsea fans. There was quite a bit of Chelsea. There's quite a big following of Chelsea in the Middle East. There is. But it's Arsenal, Man United, and Liverpool. But I would say Liverpool is below Arsenal, Man. Bulgaria, here it's very similar to what Mihal, but it's more heritage. My dad, Liverpool fan. All of his friends, Liverpool, because Liverpool were great. In Bulgaria, by far, Liverpool is the number one supported club. It's like a virus here. I fucking hate it. Everybody supports Liverpool here. Because of their dad. Because their dad liked Liverpool. So they support. And then after Liverpool, it's definitely Manchester United, mainly because Berbatov 20 years ago went to Man United, kind of similar to what Michael said, and Man United, because he was Bulgarian. And then another team that's really big, naturally, but Barcelona, because of Stoichkov.
Yeah.
So
I was in Montreal. I have family in Montreal. Anywhere they speak French, I have family. In Montreal, Montreal has a large Italian population. So Milan and Juve were also popular in Montreal, especially Milan. Milan is very popular. Napoli too, because of the mafia in Montreal. And so Italians are very popular in Montreal. Dallas Square, to answer your question, my dad raised me on Argentina. In the Haitian culture, Argentina and Brazil, South America, did a lot of humanitarian work in Haiti. Haiti's a very poor country for many reasons. When my dad played youth in the 60s, my dad was good enough before his knee injury. My dad could have possibly made the only time Haiti's made to the World Cup, 1974. They played Italy. They actually played Argentina, got beat in that team. But my dad interacted with some Argentinian players. And so from that point on, since birth, I've been born to root for Argentina. My dad watched, and loved Boca and Napoli because of Maradona. Huge fans. And at that time, I just followed countries. I didn't really support clubs other than Argentina. And then Boca was inherited to me, and rooting for them ever since. Strange enough, I tell people the story. I didn't have a Premier League club. I have favorite players. My favorite player was Michael Owen. So it's weird. I never became a Liverpool fan, but I love Michael Owen. At that time when he won the Ballon d'Or, but my best friend is an Arsenal fan. My best friend in the whole wide world. He loves Thierry Henry. And we're rivals for everything. Florida State.
I swear.
Knicks, Bulls. Mets, Yankees.
Knicks and the Bulls? Jesus Christ.
I hated Michael Jordan. I grew up hating Michael Jordan. I was a Knicks fan. He's from New York. I'm like, how are you rooting for Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan? You're a sellout. And so,
that's bad.
So I said, you know what? I'm gonna have a Premier League club.
No, but
I made club. It's gonna be a Premier League club. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna root for Arsenal's biggest rival, which was Spurs. And at that time, we were respectable, right? We had players like Berbatov, Jermaine Defoe. I mean, these are players, that I was like, you know what? We're on the cups of doing great things because we just won the Carling Cup, and
So wait, Mark, so you support the Knicks and Spurs? Fuck me, man.
yeah. But at least the Knicks have a philosophy now, right? We're respectable.
Yeah, but okay, but it's always the Knicks. They always say, "Hey, the Knicks are gonna be better," and this, and they have 1 or 2 good seasons, and they go down the shitter.
We were bad. We were bad. We have a Daniel Levy type owner.
Yeah, you do. That's true.
Yeah.
Dolan, yeah.
He did just like in Napoli, like De Laurentiis. He gave the power to the sporting director. He gave a sporting director, and Napoli finally won the league, right? The Knicks finally became respectable.
Yeah, they were the banter kind of. No, but Michael, I'm surprised you didn't have any heritage Juventus fans. Your greatest player, maybe ever, Boniek. He played for Juve. He played in the Italian. I'm surprised. Some of the fathers.
Fathers maybe, but I don't know, right? I just told you, like, my generation, maybe a bit older, a bit younger, right? But yeah, like older definitely, right? But it just changes with time because, like, in countries like ours, right, especially in like 2000s and 90s, where you didn't have access to the leagues, you couldn't watch them regularly, right? Most of the information that you got about football was from like newspapers, news. Sometimes like big matches were viewed like, you know, Champions League semifinals or whatever, right? So a lot of people were like fans of, let's say, Manchester United. Like half of my primary school friends were Manchester United ones, right? Just because we had like Bravo Sport, and you know they were raving about Cristiano Ronaldo, and everyone knew that Cristiano Ronaldo plays for Manchester United. Yeah. And that, in fact of the matter was, like, half of them didn't know any other players than Ronaldo and maybe like Giggs or someone, right? But from that point, they started like supporting the club, and then when we actually gained access to the leagues and you could actually watch, then some people sometimes changed, right? Because actually, I ironically, like, it's kind of funny to say, but in like 2006, when I was like 10 or whatever, I always said that I'm a Liverpool fan, right? Because of Jerzy Dudek, because of the final that I watched with my mother. Right, I was saying that I really like, you know, Liverpool, but I knew like 3 players or something like that, right? So it's not like I really was a fan, right? But then I took a big break from like football. I wasn't watching football like from 2008 to 2016 or 18 or something like that, right? And then when I came back to it, I just, but by pure luck, landed on Spurs, right? Because my brother was supporting Chelsea, is supporting Chelsea, sorry, right? And I didn't want to support the same team as him, just as similarly to Mari, right? Just to spite him, I didn't want to support the same team as he did, right? So I kind of wanted to choose like a rival team, but I don't know why I did. Like, it's just pure coincidence that when I was like choosing a team, that Spurs were in a Champions League final, actually doing quite great. So I always say it, I got catfished, right? I got catfished by Spurs, and right now I'm sitting here, right?
So I actually have the opposite story of you guys. I had no choice. I have an older brother. He's a massive Arsenal fan like me. So when I was a kid, I was programmed. I was brainwashed.
Yeah.
My dad was always a Liverpool fan, but he's not like a big Liverpool fan. Like, he just sympathizes with Liverpool more so. My dad actually is a big Inter Milan fan. I'm also, from my Italian teams, hands down Inter. I'm a big Inter fan because of the great Inter team from, as you say, that was on TV. I remember when I was younger, Adriano, Christian Vieri, Recoba, Ivan Cordoba, Zanetti. That team, although it didn't win the league, it was such a fun team to watch. And so I'm an Inter, I sympathize with them. But yeah, with me, there was no choice. My brother was a massive Arsenal fan, and I got sucked in by literally. I started watching 2000, 2001 were my first games that I can remember, and Arsenal were amazing then. Like, I saw Arsenal need to pay Henry like maybe 5% tax every season from the revenue, because the amount of players, fans, and people, especially players, when they say, "Yeah, I was an Arsenal fan," every single one of them says because of Henry. Rafael Leao, Pedro Neto,
Yeah.
all of them.
But you know a really funny thing, right? My first FIFA that my parents bought for me was FIFA 2000 and I think 2 or 2004, right? When you log into FIFA and you go into quick match, Premier League was the first league that showed up, and Arsenal was the first team that showed up.
Yeah, always,
right?
yeah, always.
And I, because I was a kid, I didn't really know like anything about the teams, and I didn't know how to set up the matches and whatever, right? I always used to just spam Arsenal against like the easiest team, right? And I would just spam goals from halfway line or whatever, right? And Thierry Henry was the player that I remembered from that time, right? So it's like really funny because you have so many influences from like different teams, right? As I said, like Liverpool with Jerzy Dudek, like FIFA with Thierry Henry, and all that, and from all that stuff I landed on Spurs, right? Which is kind of ironic, I know, but
no, Mike, I actually did my bachelor's dissertation relating it to business was relating how video games encouraged you to watch, because I started watching NFL and NBA. I'm a big fan because I first started playing NBA Live 2005, and I wanted to see if Kobe Bryant and all of these players that I played with on the game, like you did with Henry, was as good in real life as he was on the game. Yeah. The NFL, and I played Madden also first with the Steelers. Sadly, that's why I'm a fucking Steelers fan now. But yeah, with the actual Steelers, and because of that, it really makes a massive difference. Marketing, whichever game is on the most. Back in the days, Mari loves Italian football. Why does Mari love Italian football? Because in the 90s and in the early 2000s, Serie A was number one. The best players went there.
Brooklyn.
The best teams were there.
Yeah, and you also lived in Napoli,
Yeah,
right?
Brooklyn,
You lived in Naples, Mario, right?
Because I was the first black family to live in like an Italian neighborhood in Canarsie, Brooklyn. And when we go to pizzeria,
That must have been rough, Mari. How was that?
Oh no, I love Italian women.
Oh, you really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. As a kid, I had the biggest crush on Alyssa Milano. She used to be on a show called Who's the Boss.
Wait,
so I had a big crush on her.
Wasn't she from Charmed? Wasn't she from Charmed?
No, she played on a show earlier in the 80s. Okay. And so I had a big crush on her, Marissa Tomei. And I remember as a kid, right? Like I said, I was programmed to watch Argentina. But when I used to get my hair cut or go to the pizzeria, right, they'll have the Serie A game of the week, because what they had was, remember these big satellites, right? Those big iron satellite dishes that they had. You saw a lot of them in Brooklyn, and that was to catch a lot of the RA games, like RAI. That's a channel in Italy. And eventually RA came on cable. Actually, came on cable. The Premier League games, right? It's funny enough. I know I saw Tottenham in the early 90s because they had the game of the week on PBS, the free Premier League game of the week. And sometimes they will show Celtic because there's a lot of Irish people that live in Brooklyn, especially North. And so that's how I watched my football until my dad finally got a cut deal, like Levy, on a big satellite dish. And my dad said, "Oh man, I need a big dish. Forget cable." And we were able to watch some of the games. But Serie A was like the Premier League. Most of the time, I'm watching Van Basten. I'm watching.
They had ridiculous.
Spice.
It's the Serie A in the 90s.
Guys, go. There's an infamous photo of the top. I think it was because they had the player of the season back in the day in Serie A, and they would pick 6 or 8 candidates, and they have a table with a young Andrei Shevchenko, Mauricio Salas, the old Ronaldo.
Salas from Chile, yeah.
Yeah, Salas from Chile, who played at Inter. Zamorano. Okay. Vieri, Christian Vieri, a young Christian Vieri.
Totti, right?
Yeah, Totti. No, I don't think he was in. It was basically the best strikers in the Serie A that were all nominated. Yeah. And you see that star power, and you're like, "Fuck!" Like that's. Yeah. To this day, I have never watched a more entertaining striker that literally took my breath away, like Adriano from Inter. I'm so gutted that what happened to him, with his dad and the alcoholism after.
Yeah,
he was Haaland on steroids because he could actually play football.
Imagine Adriano coming from the bench on that Brazilian team would have R9. Adriano coming from the bench. I was looking at it, I was like, damn.
That player, he was my and FIFA. If you play with him on FIFA, Mihal, he was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You couldn't take the ball. But even in real life, the shots, the shoot, him and Vieri, I swear to God, all of the goals of the seasons that are in the Premier League that are like the top 5, him and Vieri would score 5 each goal of the season contenders every single season. They were ridiculous.
Crespo was playing. I'll tell you this. Everybody knows I love Argentina.
Yes, Fire. We know.
And for me, I mean, I love Messi, but to be honest, Maradona was my dad's player. Batistuta for me was ultimate. He was like he's like my number one like ultimate favorite player. I remember with these Argentina teams, they're very pragmatic. They're not my Argentina team growing up, where we will name your score. We will score when we had Aymar or
You're forgetting the best Argentinian player that I've watched from that period. I remember him vaguely. Ortega.
Yeah, I just said him. Ortega, Aymar, Riquelme, and those teams lost at finals, at semifinals. So it's funny because we're having the success now. We just won 3 major international, and we had a drought. But my favorite teams, if you ask me, were the teams that didn't win. We got close, but we didn't cross the line, and that was about to
that team.
Ortega,
Javier
Zanetti, Samuel.
The defender from Valencia. What was his name?
I know you're talking about
Ayala.
Yeah, those were my favorite teams.
No,
they didn't win the World Cup.
No, you look at those teams then, and they were literally Juventus had a superstar or 2. Yeah. Del Piero, Roma. People forget how good Roma were in the early 2000s. With all the French, with Emerson, with Zebina, with Totti, with Del Vecchio, I think Del Vecchio played for Roma. They had some ridiculous players, and they weren't even Inter. That squad that I told you, Vieri, Adriano, Recoba, Cordoba, Zanetti. They didn't win the league. I remember that. They won. I think they won a cup. They won the Cup of Italy, but they were famous for having this amazing team to watch that never won the league. So
it's not only like with the Italian league, but also other leagues and other teams that sometimes you don't even think about right now. But teams like Olympique Lyon in the 2000s.
With Juninho.
Yeah, plenty of Spanish teams that are currently in like second or third tier. Like
the best. I remember it.
Deportivo Alaves.
Deportivo La
Coruña. Sorry.
Yeah, they were so good. They were so good. Deportivo with Valeron, Pandiani. I remember all of them. They were such a good team. I'll never forget. Milan comes to Deportivo. Milan beats them 4-0. And this was with the away goal rule. Okay? No, Milan beats them 4-1. Deportivo goes to Milan and beats them 4-0 and knocks them out. I'll never forget that game. That was such a good knockout. But no, you have a lot of teams nowadays that I just don't think the Premier League has that. I don't think players like that are developed anymore because I just think the way training and
it's like I forgot who said this because he was talking about
but I get annoyed at how people try, like Alex, Mr. Box Office. That doesn't mean the players nowadays are not as good. They're just not as flary or as flashy as
freedom.
Or players like that. They're just as good. They're the physical.
We talked about Grealish, right? And how his career is messed up. It sounds weird going to Pep because he was a better player having that freedom to be able to play and not have that the system. Like I think Foden's good, but we have to find out when Pep is gone, is he Like, is it the system or is there other levels to Phil Foden? Because I'm watching the Euros, it's just like.
But I also have to say one thing, right? With players and how less of a flary type of football we have right now. I also think it's partially because of how rigid and how defensively structuralized teams are, right? So plenty of times I've been watching highlights from like the 90s or 2000s, and I'm seeing world-class wingers that we all remember as those like unbeatable demon kings, right? Basically running through the whole team, right? And you actually watch it, and it's basically they beat one player, then the next player comes, they beat one player, right? And you watch now, the winger tries to take someone on, and he immediately has like 2 or 3 people on him, right? And I think it's because the defensive side of the game, I'm not saying there's more talent, because I don't think there is more talent in the players defensively, right? But I think structurally they are better defensively overall as a unit, right? And I think it gives you less space and less opportunity to actually express yourself, because like you are doubled up, tripled up on, they zonally mark you out of the game. They will, just zonally push you to the side. It's not, I'm not saying I don't know how to word it, right? But I don't think it's as easy to get a 1v1 against a defender like it was back in the day, right?
I think also the systems that they play back in the day, the most commonly used system to play was 4-4-2, in which you would have usually 2 strikers, and usually those 2 strikers were also the most creative players on the pitch. They were supposed to be the ones that interplayed. And so that's why I would say you would get players like, for example, the partnership between Adriano and Vieri, the infamous partnership between Shevchenko and Filippo Inzaghi. They would always, it was more. Nowadays, what you have is, I would argue, although yes, there's not as flashy players as the old Ronaldo or Adrianos or stuff, but I could argue that back in the day when it was 4-4-2, the wingers were basically right wing backs, because all the wingers needed to do was run and overlap. You didn't have top class wingers like you have nowadays, where that go inside like Lamine Yamal, Bukayo Saka, or Vinicius, or wingers like that really that go into the box and score more goals. I remember the most celebrated right winger in Italy at the time was Camoranesi. He just ran. That's all he did. But I would severely argue with Alex, where he says that they're better football. I disagree. I think the level of technical ability nowadays is far, far higher. And that is influenced, of course, by the best coach nowadays.
I know I should end the show, but I'll throw this question, because when they were talking about that, I'll use a perfect example. Do you think with Saka, I'll use Saka as an example.
Yeah.
The Arteta system maybe handcuffs, like, is there a level Saka could go, but he can't go maybe because of Arteta's system? Or if Wenger was there, you would see maybe a little bit better Saka, in the sense that he will have that more freedom like Henry kind of had. Like, I mean, that's a good question.
I honestly think, Saka is 22, and he had, I think, 35 goals and assists last season, and it's only going to get better. I think Arteta's system definitely gets the best out of him, because if you watch Arsenal's play, a high percentage of the play in the system is directed towards his side. Odegaard always goes and overlaps and runs into his spaces. So does Ben White. So a lot of the play that Arsenal do really tries to isolate Saka with one-on-ones and tries to highlight him in the team. Would I have loved Wenger to be with Saka? Oh my God, yes. I honestly think Wenger would have. I think Saka is developed. I think maybe Saka would maybe have a little bit more goals and assists, because Wenger's system was much more kind of
individualistic,
fluid, and express yourself. But I don't know. These are. I think Saka is fine under the Arteta system, because the Arteta system goes through him. Someone like Martinelli, for example, I honestly think Martinelli, because if you watch whatever system it is at Man City, you always have one side that dominates more than the other, because one of the fullbacks always either overlaps or inverts, and the other fullback stays back. So immediately one of the sides of either Man City or Arsenal's is inhibited by the fact that one of the fullbacks stays back. So they don't have as many attacking threats on that side. And with Arsenal, it's definitely where the right side is focused more because of Saka.
Ben White.
Yeah, but Ben
White,
in my opinion, from January onwards last season, like me and Mihal had this argument where he wanted to put him in the team of the season. I disagreed because he didn't have a good start to the season. But to have Ben White as your right back, it really helps. And that's why I think now Arteta wants to sign Calafiori, because I think with Calafiori, our attack will become more balanced because it will allow us to be more.
I will say, because he's good on the ball.
He's a former.
He's really good.
He's a former fullback, so he can overlap.
As a rival, I saw that equalizer. Was it the equalizer they needed?
Against Croatia. Yeah.
And I'm just
supposedly, that's his main strength, and that's what Arteta but supposedly his main strength is he's basically similar to John Stones. And even though I don't rate John Stones as a defender, John Stones running out of the back and going through and committing men to the ball and then opening up space.
When teams press you, he's gonna be
he runs smart. He breaks the lines with his ball carrying. That's what's really good about him, because he utilizes his, he does have good speed. It's not elite speed, but because he's a former fullback, and he's also massive. Like, I was shocked when I watched highlight video. He's fucking huge. He's massive. But the final thing before I go is I disagree with this notion. I think if you look at the level of technical play, although I really rate defenders, like Jaap Stam and Walter Samuel could not pass the ball 5 yards, Mari. I know he's Argentinian and he's an amazing defender, but let's be honest, as a technical footballer, he would be nowhere near a Man City or
he's not better than like Romero at passing.
Romero is by far a better footballer than Walter Samuel, but as a defender, I would have Walter Samuel. Did you get what I'm trying to say?
Purely defending, taking the ball.
But that's my point. Even Pep Guardiola's influence has even changed the way goalkeepers are perceived to do their job and what their responsibility. Now goalkeepers even have to be able to be technically proficient on the ball and to be able to pass and to be able to break the lines. When back in the day, I remember fucking Dida for Milan, one of the greatest Milan teams. Yeah. The guy could barely kick the ball. The guy could barely kick the ball. Yeah, so that I completely disagree with Alex. And I think there's this notion of this fetishization of the past, where just because you remember as a kid he was great and he was written about. I also think that the fact that now everywhere it's broadcast, so Haaland, you can see his goals on YouTube, on highlight reels and everywhere, and the fact that the older players like the Batistutas or stuff, you don't have as much access to their tape, to their goals. I think that's also what's creating this image that, they were so much better. I disagree. There's never been two strikers as effective as Ronaldo and Messi. They're from this era. I love the greatest player that I have ever watched, the most talented player, I agree, is the old Ronaldo. I've never watched a better player that I remember. But that doesn't mean that you can take away his thing. So I think it's really disingenuous and to compare two periods with different systems, different types. And you know what? I told Alex, I watched it recently. Final thing, guys. Sorry, I will stop now. Go rewatch a game from. I rewatched because I really wanted to remember, because I remember those clashes. Arsenal, Manchester United from the 2000, during the Invincibles there. Those were the games. Like those were the games. Like Arsenal, what a Titan clash. Guys, the football was fucking shit. And I love the Invincible. They couldn't string more than 5 or 6 passes together, guys. I rewatched the whole game. Like, I think Arsenal Man United 2002. They were showing retro games on the TV because the Prem finished. Go rewatch some of these games. You know, the level of like and even in Bulgaria they like to do redos of the 1994 World Cup where Bulgaria got to the semifinal with Stoichkov.
Yeah.
And I was watching the quarterfinal. Bulgaria beat Germany 2-1. Stoichkov scored an amazing free kick. The physicality, guys, the speed of play, the intensity. Don't get me wrong. The players, you know, Stoichkov, Klinsmann, amazing players.
Hagi was amazing.
The level of sports science and the intensity and the speed nowadays is 1,000 times better. Is 1,000, and I'm not saying this to downgrade it.
Technical skills are better because there's a lot of not so great technical players though.
I would argue that the technical skills for forwards are not better. Forwards nowadays are more trained into being like Lewandowski. If you look at Lewandowski from when he started playing for Lech Poznan, he was like a stick. He went to the gym. He trained his ass off. He ate right. He did everything. He's very professional. He changed went to the right coach and transformed into a really good striker. The same with Ronaldo. He went from a winger to a striker. So I would argue that, yes, they're more built into machines and they're not as creative like a Ronaldinho or a Rivaldo back in the day. But I will still say midfield and defense and goalkeeper, technically, in this day and age, are far better. And I'll say, I know they love him. Gennaro Gattuso and Ambrosini, who were part of the greatest ever Milan team, Emerson, part of the Roma and the Juventus teams and the Milan teams, they wouldn't get anywhere near the top teams today because defensive midfielders today are not only expected to just tackle and win the ball back, they're expected to pass, to be able to dictate play. And if you watch these players, and I'm not downgrading them, Gattuso.
He said something about the Italians, and
Italian mafia got
took him out. Well,
yeah, I have to jump off.
Yeah, we're gonna end the show.
So
yeah, we don't know what happened to Stefan. You'll message me on WhatsApp. But great show, 3 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, yep. We'll be back next week. Stefan wants to talk about the Italians, and like I said, Iggy came in and pulled the plug. It's like, hey, don't talk about.
I hope they just pulled the plug. I hope they didn't, do a mafia thing on him, right? And just
yeah. But he'll message me because we lost him. He just messaged me. He says, thanks. Good night. My laptop switched off. I will say, okay, yeah.
Okay, I had to shoot Mari. Cheers. Thank you for the show.
Right.
It was brilliant as always. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll see you guys next Thursday, and we are out.